Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the James and Brown Podcast. I'm your host Raj, and with me as always is my co-host Spencer.
Hello.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
belated birthday.
It was a couple days ago.
You spent it with your fiance, right?
Yep. We went hiking, and she took me out to a nice restaurant at the beach. It was really nice.
Yeah.
I got new shoes.
It's nice.
Yeah, I bought myself this watch too.
That's much nicer than the watch I'm wearing.
Thank you.
But,
man.
you know, I got this one for free. Kind of sort of stole it from my neighbor. So, you know, I was thinking, what kind of friend would I be, and, you know, wedding party goer kind of thing, if I didn't get you a gift? So I got you a gift. Hang on, I'm just going to reach behind you.
Oh, that was a gift?
Yes, because I'm awesome. Happy birthday, man.
Oh, thank you. What is this thing?
I got you something extraordinarily manly. What is the manliest profession in the world? Piracy.
Oh, cool! This little. Okay.
I got you a.
Open the first one. Oh, One Piece. Are you serious?
I got you a beautiful One Piece
Did you
wall
get this
scroll.
from Sakura?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, did that guy like you? What is this?
It's a wall scroll
This is super cool.
for you to hang on your wall, man. He's unraveling it right now.
That is super cool.
And I also got you the Straw Hat Pirate flag.
No way.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Since we made a pact when, I don't know, 2 years ago, if space piracy ever becomes legitimate within our lives, we would give up our jobs and become pirates.
It's true. I remember this.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Good friend. Thank you.
Happy birthday. I love you, man.
I think I won't. When your birthday comes, I won't take a year to give you your gift that I promised you.
2 years? It took you forever. Holy crap.
Speaking of One Piece, it's gotten pretty epic at this point.
Well, because we're in the climax of the... where are we right now? I don't remember the place.
I don't remember the name of the island. It's so convoluted. What I do know is that since Luffy is actually challenged, says he's going to, beat the crap out of the main character, things are going down. Everyone knows it's going to happen. You're not going to remember. They're trying to beat the Smile Factory and all this stuff.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, man. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not Flamingo Island. It's like...
I don't remember what it is.
Something to do with passion. I can't remember. But yeah, we're almost at the climax with God Usopp.
Yeah. Oh, God Usopp.
That was the funniest thing. Also, well, for you anime watchers, I know right now you're in the Coliseum,
yep.
where Luffy just entered the Coliseum. And when we got that into manga, I was wondering, like, they introduced so many characters. They're like, what is the point of all these characters? They're never going to come back. Well, we finally realized the point of them, and I won't say they're all for a joke, but it pretty much builds up to one giant, it's more or less a joke, but it's also a huge plot point, and it was hilarious. Yeah. It was fantastic, yeah. One Piece is always solid. Always has good payoff at the end.
Like always, I mean, One Piece is interesting because the manga is actually super close to the anime in timing. Like, it's only probably, a couple dozen chapters ahead.
I expected them to take 1 or 2 filler arcs before they went into the whatever island they are right now.
No, but they went straight there.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I assumed they'd go filler right after Punk Hazard. Especially since Punk Hazard wasn't all that great of an arc. It was kind of meh. Mm-hmm. So was New Fishman Island. That was kind of meh as well.
Oh, New Fishman Island? Yeah.
But this arc, oh man, it's so good.
Everything has build up in the One Piece world. There's always build up for something.
Yeah. Going back to your present, it took all of my willpower to not buy you a body pillow.
I wouldn't have
because no, you would have kept it until your fiance came over, and then she would have thrown it away.
I wouldn't have kept it. I would have been like, thank you for the gift, but I mean, I'm looking at this one, and I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And then there's
Nami in the corner.
and Robin, and both of them are just like...
Robin's okay on that.
Boobs out. Robin's worse than Nami.
Oh, I didn't pay attention.
It's okay.
I don't really care about Robin.
I'll figure it out.
Well, no, she'll see the pirate flag and she won't really care, I guess.
I'll hang the pirate flag up, and then I'll just take looks at the One Piece thing.
All right, so before we get to the recap, just want to kind of see what we're going to do at the end. We have something special planned. Since we have a lot of new listeners, they haven't actually been keeping up with our recap since day one. And a lot of people skip a bunch of our recap because they don't want anime spoiled for them. So what we're going to do at the very end of the recap, we're going to go through all the anime that we're following on the recap on our list, and we're going to say, spoiler free, if you should if it's worth catching up to, why or why not we think that, and whether or not we think it's good in the first place. So if you want to know, if you want to know if it's good or if it's a good idea to catch up with Chaika or Black Bullet or Nanana, then just skip to the end of the podcast whenever you're done with the recap, and we'll give you our feelings there.
Excellent.
So let's move on to the recap. I'll let you hit the button if you don't sing it every single time.
Can I sing it sometimes?
No, I'll let you sing it once, since it was your birthday.
Okay.
You get one.
La, la, la. Okay. I'm super nervous now. Random topic button. Click. Oh man, I don't even get to speak.
Oh, all right. This is my time right now. Valkyrie in the Darkness. So this was actually the best episode this show has had so far.
Really?
And it had no action in it whatsoever. The reason it was good is because it had a ton of character development, and it was legitimately really, really funny. Oh. So I've said before, Kureha is in love with Ryota, the main character, and he's in love with her. And Kana, the girl who can't move, she's known this. She pretty much outs him, but when he's not there, to the rest of the girls. And Kureha says, no, he's not in love with me. He's in love with a childhood friend. And the feelings are sort of passed on to me because I kind of look like her. And the girl who's always very assertive with her sexuality, Kazumi.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, she, as soon as she hears that, she's like, I have to be more assertive. She's like, I have to try even harder. And she tries her, bless her heart, I guess, she tries her damnedest to get this guy, just using the wrong method. It's obvious he doesn't like it. You should probably try something else. But she actually says to him, this is the only way I know how. It's the only way she knows. And I really can't blame her for that. And something that's been going on for the last couple episodes is whenever Kureha and Ryota touch, Kureha starts blushing, and she her heart starts beating faster, but she doesn't know what that means because she's been operating on a lot and her memories are pretty messed up. So she doesn't really understand the concept of liking and love, and she gets invited to go to karaoke with some girls at her high school. So she goes out, and typical karaoke, they invite a bunch of guys over, and one guy starts hitting on Kureha, he puts on the moves. And he's like, let's sing a song together. And she's like, no, I can sing on my own. She's like, no, it'd be more fun together. She's like, okay, makes sense. So while she's holding the microphone, he folds his hands on hers, and she looks at his hand, and she looks at him, and she says, why does my heart throb when you touch me? And this poor bastard, he's shot down so hard. He's so sad, and he just says really quietly, I don't know. And all the girls in the room laugh at him. I felt so bad for this guy. He just shot down so hard. And Kureha, she's like, oh, okay. So basically, like I said, in terms of character development, but in the actual plot of this episode, Ryota tries to get the death pills to be made, I won't say synthetically, but basically copied. The guy who he talks to says he can do it between 6 months and several years, but they don't know for sure. And they have a box of only 1 month's pills for the 4 girls. So they've pretty much come to terms with the fact that they're going to die within a month and there's nothing they can do. Kazumi's the one who takes it the hardest. She goes outside and she starts crying. She's like, there was no hope anyway. I don't know why I let myself think. This is
because they rely on those pills.
Yeah, they need to take them every day or they melt, which is a pretty horrifying death. One thing I don't really like about where I see this series going is Kotori, the girl who can teleport, is really getting shafted in terms of screen time and dialogue and just development in general.
She sounds boring.
She kind of is. But then why include her in the first place? What's the point?
She might have some meaning in the future.
I don't know. Remember the Palpad I told you about?
Yeah, the
Palm
Pilot thing?
Yeah. So he actually turns that on in another city when he actually goes on a date with a Kazumi. And this date is actually really sweet because she's never been in the city before, let alone with a guy. So she's having the time of her life, and she says, this is the happiest I've been since I've ever been born. This is the happiest day of my life. And he's like he was really against taking her out. He didn't want to. But she knew part for her, her harness basically connects to this special box that lets her connect to the internet then. And that box broke. It's not really explained very well. And so they go shopping for that, but she uses that as a guise for the date, even though she doesn't need that part. And so he turns on the Palm Pilot. There's a bunch of German on it, and then he skips that, and there's a map with it points somewhere, but he doesn't know what it means. And she translates the German for him, and the German says, if you want to learn the truth, all witches must be dead. So for him to know the truth, whatever the truth is, whatever it's regarding to, the witches need to die.
That's feels bad, man.
And like Kazumi says this, and she's horrified, and Ryota's even more horrified because like he's like, this thing is probably the key to everything, whatever that everything is. And actually, the title of the anime was explained. It turns out Valkyrie, like I said before, the witches have class ratings, like they're C, D, A, AA plus apparently, which is the canon chick. There's only one S class, and her name is Valkyrie.
Oh.
And they said she is the witch capable of destroying the world. Kuruha heard this. When Kuruha escaped from the lab, someone died to help her escape. She said, "Kuruha, you're the only one who can stop the world from being destroyed." And
Valkyrie said that to Kuruha?
No, this other woman.
Oh, okay.
So Kuruha puts 2 and 2 together, and she says, "So my purpose to live right now is so I can defeat the Valkyrie, and the world will be saved." Which makes sense because in the opening, it's Kuruha going one-on-one with some other girl. So the entire plot has now been laid out, so the anime has a very clear path of where it needs to go. The girls have a time limit of how long they can live. Kuruha has a main purpose, which the other girls will support her in.
Is it 12 episodes?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's wrapping up very nicely. This was a very good episode in terms of development for everyone except for Kotori, who's just getting the shaft right now. Oh, also, Ryota's kind of being a little creepy because when she goes to karaoke, he kind of follows her later.
Well, that's because he childhood friend syndrome, man.
But then she catches him, and he catches himself, and he's like, "I'm no better than a stalker. Like, what the hell's wrong with me?" And he just does 180 and goes home like, "Good man."
Yeah.
And he was tutoring some girl, and he like leaves to go check on Kuruha, and the girl's like, "Are you going on a date?" He's like, "It's none of your business." She's like, "It's all my business." And I'm like, I mean, +1 to the harem, I guess, but I don't think she's ever going to show up again. It's kind of unnecessary. So yeah, Valkyrie is actually shaping up to be pretty good. Still very minimal on the action, but there was so much story in this episode that they took out the opening theme.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and I think the ending theme too.
Did they make the music play in the background?
They did.
Oh,
It was good. I love the opening theme of this anime. So yeah, Valkyrie getting better.
Cool. I'll hit the button.
Go for it.
Wow.
Breaks.
Okay, it's the Raj free time now. Go ahead, buddy. I'm gonna take a little break.
If for flag breaks. This was an episode that I didn't like. Finally had an episode that I didn't like because it kind of tried to do what Valkyrie did, where it tried to cram a ton of story, but the story didn't make any sense, really. His harem exponentially increases. They just decide to throw some more girls at him. I don't know what they're doing. Really, in universe, it doesn't really make sense. It's revealed that the reason they're watching him closely, the power to break flags, he has an even greater power, is that he can create a main character flag. So if he makes someone a main character, then that person will shape the world for their lifetime. So that's the power that they want to keep under control.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So the other girl has the power to see flags. You find out that she actually, somehow it's a synthetic power, like she just kind of adopted part of it, but then it's not as strong as his. Never explain how that happens. And then she also has the power to go between dimensions, which is weird. So she takes him to another dimension, to the sinking of the Titanic where he was on, except instead of him on the Titanic, it's his granddaughter, who in this universe, his granddaughter is also his homeroom teacher from the original universe.
What the heck?
I know, it makes no sense. And she's dying. She has a death flag. He basically transforms her death flag into a main character flag, and that's where he realizes his power. And then, out of nowhere, he coughs up mounds of blood. He starts dying. His death flag starts taking toll. And then the girl, grabs his death flag, and she says something weird like, "I need the power of my mother, my sister, my brother, my grandparents to break this flag." And she can't break it, but she, delays the activation, so he has a little bit longer to live. And the dumbest part, which really annoys me of this episode, is that when she's grabbing hold of his flag, she is flooded with all the power of it. She sees the burden of the death flag and the burden of his power in general. And she's like, "Oh, he's been shouldering this all alone." And she falls in love with him.
Oh, goodness.
For that reason. And then Sakura comes down and she's like, because this girl was going to tell him everything, the entire plot, but he passed out after she saved his life. And so Sakura comes down, she's like, he needs to discover everything on his own, otherwise it'll be meaningless. Kind of makes sense, right? It's the journey, not the end. So she wipes her memories of everything except for the love.
How's she so OP?
So apparently Sakura is short for the sacraments, That she's like the sacrament. So apparently she's this godlike entity that watches over the entire universe and all the dimensions. So he got his powers from God, who's a lolly in this universe.
Oh, I'm really glad I dropped this series.
I just don't. Why did this happen? Why did it go from comedy to this? Like, what's the point? It's just, it wasn't fun.
They have to drive it with some sort of story,
It made no sense. I forgot. The another girl they added to his harem is the student council president. This one I actually liked. This one made sense because, the little sister character I talked to you about last week, she's like, well, we can't just transfer into the school. Like, there has to be some work done. And she's like, I'll pull some strings, but only if you go on a date with me. And the reason she wants this is because no guy ever asks her out because she's too boyish. So, that makes sense. She, like, dresses girly and stuff, and she's like, he's kind of sad because, he's dying. And she's like, oh, I guess it's no fun being with me. And later she's like, no, I understand. Like, I'm boyish. Nobody asked me out. And he's like, no, it's not that. You're actually a lot of fun. You're energetic, yada, yada, yada. And she falls for him because he's the only one who treats her like a normal girl. That makes sense. It's kind of a legitimate reason. So that one was fine. But man, the entire last half of that episode just, I don't know what they did. I don't know why they did it. It just made no sense. It's ending in a couple more episodes. I hope they pull it back. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you don't seem as enthused. It's not your favorite harem of the season then?
It's the only true harem. There's easily Chaika's my favorite harem. It's the funniest.
It's not even a harem.
It's totally a harem. Come on. We'll get to that in the Chaika when you roll Chaika. Hit the button.
Okay, hit the button. Maybe it's my turn.
Yeah, maybe you can talk. Yes,
okay, so
we can both talk about this.
Okay.
So Nanana's buried treasure. This episode was completely out of left field.
It was, again, another character development episode, but it was between Yukihime and Jugo.
It was really good.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it coming at all. Like
that chain Yukihime
what
fan
the
service.
Heck? Oh, that was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that a lot. The Yukihime, all right, she's pretty cute.
Yeah. Well, when she went like total soon, she was really cute. Like her eyes opened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like visually. What I found about the episode was that we all knew it happened. We all knew that he snuck in beforehand. We all knew that he was waiting for the package that got shipped to him.
Yep.
I love Nanana when she forgave him because of
that's pretty cute.
pudding.
Yeah.
The conversations between him and her are actually getting a lot more friendly. Like the conversation with him crying in her chest, and she said, "Okay."
They really feel like a couple.
Yeah.
Like they very strongly feel like a couple. And Jugo does address what I had an issue with last episode, where if she passes on, like I said, there's only two endings. She passes on, or she's stuck in the room forever. And you said, she could break free of the room. That's also a possibility. And Jugo's like he contemplates that in this episode. Is like, is she going to be stuck in this room forever, or is she going to pass on? And what am I going to do when she passes on?
Yeah, that's true. That love. I love that Daru, is that right?
Daruku?
Yeah, Daru and
still the best character in the show.
Tensai, I love that both of them just keep coming back. That's pretty funny.
I have an issue with Tensai. She's getting very predictable.
Yeah.
As soon as Jugo started explaining what he's gonna do, I'm like, all right, it's gonna cut to Tensai. She's gonna be standing behind him. She's gonna laugh. I don't like what they're doing with that. She's always there whenever he's explaining something, or she's always there to reveal his plot. I really like Tensai as a character, but I don't like how they're just putting her in everything. Like, she's omnipotent and she always knows where to be.
Yeah, that's not really cool.
It's the only big issue I have with this series right now. The whole Yukihime thing, if it wasn't for Jugo himself, like the voice actor, I don't think the scene could have worked, because we don't know much about Yukihime. She hasn't had much development. And this scene was actually really moving because the voice actor nails this so hard.
Oh, yeah.
He really nails the emotion. He brings you in,
yeah.
Despite you not knowing much about Yukihime. It's really nice. It's very well done. And I like how he says that he never breaks his promises, but he broke a promise to her.
Yeah, but he broke a promise way back in the day because he turned from helping people.
That got me right here in the heart, man.
Because she was like, because she even said like, oh, a promise. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
That past pain. The episode, overall, nothing really happened except...
But it was a really good episode.
Jugo kind of coming to grips with his feelings for Yukihime. How they react to each other, what's actually happening with the family and all this stuff.
And his feelings for Nanana.
Yeah.
More or less.
And Tensai being not that cool. But whatever. And there really wasn't any other characters. Like, you didn't see Yuiga at all?
Oh, thank God. I hate that prick. I did like the man with 1,000 faces. I don't know his name.
Oh,
he brings up a very good point that what's the point in getting Jugo, like trying to get him back to Matsuri? Because if he's not motivated, there's no point.
I wouldn't want someone like him on my team. That's what he said.
And that's a legitimate thing. Like, just because he's the heir to the master doesn't mean if he's not motivated, then he's not going to do a good job.
Yeah, it's like that. Like anybody we've ever had at a university, a guy who just does not pull his weight. You don't want him on your team, no matter how good he may be.
Yeah.
So Nanana was great. It was a good story developer. I'm just hoping to see a little more action next episode.
There was some action this episode. The fight between them was really good. I love how Jugo's completely outclassed.
Oh yeah,
by Yukihime.
I still don't know why he didn't use his chain skill at the beginning.
I think he wanted to see how far he'd come.
Yeah, that's true.
But given that he's not training, like he says he trains every day, but I doubt he's training as hard as she is.
Is this a 12-episode series?
I have no idea.
Because if it is, I'm a little disappointed. If it's a 12-episode series, we're already on episode 7. We only have 5 episodes left. There's going to be, like, the next episode's going to be something big's coming up. The next 2 episodes will be kind of dealing with that. Then we're at episode 10. There'll be the climax. Then 11 and 12 will be the finishers. And then that's it.
If it's a 12-episode series, I'm pretty sure this will get a second season.
I hope so.
I think it's popular enough to get a second season.
Honestly, the one thing that's bothering me is there's no number count for the treasures they're finding.
That doesn't bother me, but what does bother me is that the treasures aren't progressing the story at all.
Yeah, that's true.
None of the treasures help him even a little bit to finding out this killer.
Yeah.
And then he just gives them away afterwards because they're no help to him. He doesn't keep them in stock just
That's
in case.
what's kind of bothering me. It seems like the treasures and the ruins seems like a cool centerpiece for the story, but it's just shoved to the side.
Yeah. In terms of character development, that's good because the character development is top-notch in this anime.
But I think we're running out of need for character development. We need to push the story
characters
a
have
little
been
more.
developed. Let's get
we need
story
to,
now.
We need to actually use those characters, like I always say, in a legit situation where their characters can actually be tested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we need that more.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen 3 ruins in 7 episodes. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, it's around 3.
That's
like
okay. I mean, I'm glad we're not seeing one every episode, but honestly, I'm just wanting to see this thing chug a little further.
I don't really mind not seeing ruins. I just want him to progress in the story somehow. Like find a clue to the killer. Maybe find someone related to the killer. I don't know.
I mean, 2 seasons, this is progressing perfectly fine. Okay, episode 7, we're doing fine. 1 season, 12 episodes long, we're pushing it a little bit for... I'm kind of nervous about the ending of this one. But.
Yeah, I read a comment that was kind of a spoiler in that Nanana is supposed to be doing something, and they said Nanana should be doing this within the next couple episodes. They said that 4 episodes ago, so I don't know where they're going with this.
Yeah, that's why I don't read comments, man. Spoilers, I hate them. Did you click the spoiler tag button? You did, didn't you?
I don't know, maybe. I can't remember.
Okay. Why do you click those?
Because I'm a man.
That doesn't mean anything.
Look,
if your favorite show gets ruined before you get to finish it, does that make you a man?
The worst thing that was ever spoiled for me was who the Colossal Titan is. That's the worst thing that was ever spoiled for me.
Yeah, but we're not going to
spoil that. Armor Titan, I guessed correctly, completely. The female Titan, I was like, "Hey Spencer, I'm not going to say it, but I was like, hey Spencer, it's this." You're like, "No, it's not. You're completely wrong." I'm like, man, you're a bad liar.
Well, yeah, that's true because I'd watched it before you, and you guessed. Hey, I made your last episode enjoyable, didn't I?
Yeah, well, it was a lot better than our. I hated how we both guessed it was Mikasa because she had a similar haircut, and then like the next episode, it was Mikasa's like the first character to show on screen. We're like, well, there goes that theory.
And we were just, and then you ruined the Colossal and Armor Titan for me. And
Did I?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I got this. Check it out. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh no.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think you did. You do that often.
I don't think I did.
We're playing Final Fantasy.
Okay,
10.
that's different. Final Fantasy story is stupid.
Okay, but you explained how stupid it was at the beginning, and then you're like, Spencer, this is important. And I'm like, you told me about this already. Why? I'm not interested. Ugh.
I didn't tell you about them kissing underwater.
You said that was like a video game sex scene.
It was a metaphor. It was a metaphor for them having sex.
Not.
It was completely.
They were kissing underwater.
Nobody kisses underwater. That's no
some
sense.
Strange stuff, man.
I'm just saying it's a metaphor.
Okay, I'm hitting the button now. Nanana was buried a long time ago.
Oh, you're so clever,
buddy. Baby steps. This was a good episode.
Your wit hasn't changed in a year.
Oh, my wife almost got a wife. Wit.
Baby steps. I realized this episode what I felt was lacking from Baby Steps. It was the bromance. There was no bromance in Baby Steps. Oh, jeez. No.
Why do you need BL for everything?
No, I'm not saying BL.
Honestly, in the past 5 podcasts, you've referenced BL in some way. I actually want to move about a foot further away from you. I'm a little nervous, man.
Okay, no. When I say bromance, I mean like a team dynamic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, in Kuroko, we have a huge team.
Yeah.
In Aishul, we had a huge team. In Haikyuu, we have a pretty small, tight-knit group. You have the group of the main characters.
Tennis is a
is a solo sport, which is kind of boring because it's only Achan. But now that he's like practicing with Takuma, they're becoming more like buddies. Cool. I'm enjoying the series a lot more now.
I loved how, like, okay, so what happened in the episode, just for a brief overview, if you haven't seen it, was Ajun really wants to...
Achan.
Who's Ajun from? Oh, that's from...
Ace of Diamond, man.
So, Achan, he really, really, really wants to be good at tennis because he hasn't been good at anything, ever. And the coach was like, you can be amazing. And so the coach... Probably. Maybe. Well, his big nose don't lie. But he got pulled in for an early morning practice and got taught very basic targeting techniques for how to get on the other side.
Ball control, more or less.
And then Achan immediately goes hundreds of ways more, and which is pretty funny just because that's who he is. But then Takuma comes in and they play a game and Achan gets wrecked. But first, Achan actually returns some balls, and he's playing a lot better than he was before. But after that, I love how in the final parts of the episode, Achan is just begging Takuma for play after play after play after play. And Takuma...
That's the best way to get better, though, as a player, is when you play someone who's a lot better.
And they're getting way closer as characters.
Yeah, they are.
Because when the tournament came up, he's like, hey, I'm not going to be playing that. You might actually do really well. But there was no sarcasm.
Yeah.
Like, his face was, like, completely like, you can do this, man. I mean, honestly, if you play a guy that much... And what I really liked was the play between Takuma and Achan, how Achan reacted to Takuma just destroying him, saying, you're never going to catch up to me, it's impossible. And he's like,
of course.
Why are you saying that? Of course. I'm so far behind you, it's not even funny, but how am I going to know unless I try? And Takuma's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have given up so quickly.
Yeah, it's real that it's Takuma, right? Yeah.
I think so. We've been saying that the whole time.
It's real that he got annihilated in a pro game, and his confidence has just been like shook. Like, he doesn't think he has it cut out for him because that guy's just so far ahead of him that Takuma doesn't think any amount of practicing will help him out. And so it's kind of a give and take. It's a give and take relationship where Takuma helps Achan get better in general, and Achan is trying to like inspire him.
Takuma, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The bromance is necessary, man. We had Kuroko and Kagami, and now we got Achan and Takuma.
It's good.
You need that person to play off of.
And now there's Natsu, the very stagnant, super good tennis player who's just...
We don't know how good she is, though.
But she just oogles Achan all the time. She's in love.
I think he's going to surpass her pretty quickly.
Yeah, but there's that moment where Takuma likes Natsu. It's very obvious.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
And Achan is going to be Takuma's friend, and then there's going to be a romantic triangle. I hope so.
It's not really a triangle, because she doesn't care about Takuma that way.
Actually, she doesn't care about anybody.
No, she definitely likes Achan.
I think she likes Achan's skills. I think that's all she likes. I think she's like Winry, except not like Winry.
Well, but...
Like we talked about before, not as good looking, not as funny, not as good character.
That's a different
sort of like Winry, man.
Yeah, that girl's like Winry, except not as good a character, not nearly as good looking.
You just destroyed everything you said. Like, why did you even bother comparing?
I shouldn't even bother comparing.
We're talking about some girl from Irregular high school of magic or whatever, where the girl's like the gun freak, and she's like,
oh, your guns are so cool, and she starts like explaining all the parts like Winry does, but she's not nearly as cool as Winry.
That fell apart quickly.
They fell apart really
quickly.
So,
baby steps. If you were like Raj Preet, and you at the beginning you're like, and you actually listen to this still, and you're not actually watching the series, man, pick it up, because it's gonna pick up. I'm excited to see what he does.
It's on a steady incline. It gets better with every single episode so far.
This baby hasn't died yet. Random topic button. Oh, Black Bullet.
Black Bullet. So, should I start with this one?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I was disappointed with this episode. It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't bad. But it had horrendous pacing issues. The beginning was incredibly rushed. The ending was incredibly rushed. And the middle was so ungodly slow.
Yeah.
This episode just dragged. I don't know why. This is a 24-episode series. I don't see the reason for the pacing to be this staggered. I understand why people said the Kagetane fight episode felt rushed, because the beginning was rushed and the ending was rushed, but the middle was paced perfectly between his fight and the giant railgun thing.
That Kagetane fight was so good.
That was paced incredible, and the fight itself was good. The fight with Tina is not all that good.
I think it's because everybody assumes that Tina's going to lose.
Well, I assumed Kagetane was going to lose.
Well, yeah,
it's just not as good as a fight. And it's kind of unrealistic within the universe itself, because who the hell is going to take a phone call in the middle of a fight with a sniper?
Yeah, that's so true. I was actually sitting there thinking, like, every time his phone went off, he went, "Oh, hello." And I'm
Why don't you just shoot him?
I'm like, honestly, are you serious?
Yeah.
And like those floating...
He doesn't even have like a Bluetooth earpiece.
No,
it's like you
honestly,
take out his goddamn phone.
You think you could? Like, I mean, they did a really good job of showing what the iPhone looks like. They even had FaceTime written on there.
Did they?
That's pretty impressive. But anyways, no one's going to do that, honestly. And those floating, like, Portal 2 head things, like, oh, she had 4. Oh, shucks. I mean,
I don't know.
The fight with Tina was not that good. And then the stupid freaking reveal of Tina joining the harem that quickly was stupid.
But it was really obvious.
Of course, but it was stupid. I mean, how many people did she almost kill? Honestly.
But that's what he says.
Yeah, I know he said
Rintaro's like, she almost killed both of you, and why are you, like, so accepting? And he's like, you know what, I just can't even. Like, he doesn't even bother.
But that's stupid. That's exactly why this series sucks so much for that one reason.
But
it's a good series, but I mean, honestly, there's universe-breaking things that happen in this series.
I agree with that, but I didn't have a problem with that particular thing because it was just really cute. She's like, oh, here's your wife. It was
cover
adorable.
Up the fact that this anime is losing all of its credibility. I mean, honestly, he got in this huge fight. She got shot through the chest. I know she's made of mechanical parts, but there's got to be something.
No, she's not. It's just because she's part bug.
Okay, whatever.
Fast healing.
So she walks in and goes, oh, I hope they're treating her okay. Walks in, boom, she's there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and,
Kisara?
No, who's
Enju?
Enju, sorry. Enju, Asian, HM.
Okay, Kisara I can understand warming up to her. Enju, I don't.
Yeah, that was so shocking.
Enju's very
jealous.
That and competitive.
It didn't make
the fact
any
that she
sense.
lost to Tina before. I thought she would be like, "Why is this like this girl's better than me? I need to beat her."
The fact that all 3 of them were accepting of Tina's entrance into the little group.
Well, Rintaro makes sense though.
Bothered me.
Rintaro makes sense.
It does not make sense for Enju at all.
Enju's no.
She's like, oh, I have a protege. She pretty much just destroyed you. Oh, and one thing. You know at the beginning, I had to watch the beginning episode a couple times just because I accidentally had to stop it and pause it. Mm-hmm. He's on his phone, and this is just a stupid little thing, but they're not paying enough attention to their graphics. He's on the phone. He pulls it off. The screen is completely clean. It drops on the ground where there's no blood, and it just hits the ground. The screen is clean. Then it zooms in on the phone, and there's like blood all over the screen.
You're being nitpicky.
I am being nitpicky because I don't like it. Take time to do those details.
I don't care about that. But the other main issue I had with this episode is, I don't even know this prick's name, but the guy who was like, stay away from Sei Tenshi. This guy's such a throwaway character. He had no purpose.
I'm glad he shot his
in this anime. Though. But they didn't even build him up enough for that to be satisfying for me. He's like, he was there for like 2 episodes.
You think he's going to come back as some bad guy?
No, I doubt it. It's just, he's such a throwaway character. I don't see what the purpose of having him was. You could just use any generic cop that could have shot her. It doesn't have to be this guy who's so obsessed with being a bodyguard.
Honestly, I was really hesitating to watch this series this week. Ever since I've been having doubts, like 3 podcasts ago, it has not redeemed itself.
I was really looking forward to this episode, and it just disappointed
Even
me.
The fight scenes between Tina, that was cool. And
actually,
everything.
Okay.
The grenade,
Rintaro uppercutting an 8-year-old girl. Oh, I said uppercutting an 8-year-old.
It could have been that, man.
I said uppercutting.
Is that even a word?
It is. That was a phrase.
It is now. Oh, jeez.
Uppercutting.
That must be painful.
Sorry, much less sexual. Probably much less painful.
Now we got to put. Explicit.
Yeah, I got to make this goddamn podcast explicit. But okay, he has auto mail and he uppercuts like an 8-year-old. That was brutal.
The fact that he's able to get over that he looks like a young girl thing, she looks like a young girl thing, it's impressive.
Because she's a killer.
But 24 minutes long, that 5 minutes where they actually engaged
was good.
Was great. The fact that
the entire fight before that was garbage.
Yeah, the fact that he uppercutted and then like how he killed Hagetane.
Kagetane.
Foot slammed her down into the ground.
Breaking through multiple floors.
5 floors. That was awesome. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's got to be more of that.
It wasn't worth the crap we had to put up with beforehand.
No.
Yeah. I think what it's going to do is because I know for a fact, if you watch the opening, there's going to be 2 more groups of little girl and whatever initiator.
Why are there so many
operator.
harems this series? I'm so bothered by that.
All
because
right, but
harem, I know, but harem comes along with all these tropes that they have to satisfy in order to be harems, and they actually ruin what could be a good story.
I don't think these girls are joining his harem because they have their own guys that they're with.
Tina?
Well, she is Kisara.
Kisara?
Tina,
the president? All of them?
I'm saying the next ones. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
What I think this anime is going to do is because there's going to be 2 more groups that join his cop thing. They're going to spend the next few episodes having their own little rushed arcs, I would say, so they can get them all grouped up and do the whole Avengers thing where they have the big enemy and they all need to team up to take them down. And the big enemy's probably going to be
Tina
Kagetana.
doesn't matter that much to me. What's she good at? Shooting
Sniping.
things?
Well, think about it. She covers Enji with the sniper fire while Enji goes close.
I guess so.
So they're going to work pretty well together.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why that girl is ranked over 100. What is she good at besides sniping?
Yeah, she doesn't really.
The only reason she wrecked Enju was because she had Gatling guns that were remote controlled and just destroyed her. That's not that cool. Like,
she needs setup time.
Yeah,
that's the
problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So, anyways, Black Bullet is way down on my list.
It's still good. It was just this episode was
like, I'm not going to drop it. I'm too invested, but man, it was not that good.
This episode was just like, a drop on the graph.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to get better with the next episode.
Me too. Yeah.
I don't assume this anime is going to consistently do this. It's just a one-off thing.
I want less politics and I want more bug fighting. We've only seen one bug, and it was like in the first episode.
Again, same thing with Titan, man.
We saw at least another Titan in 7 episodes. Come on. At least.
No, yeah, you're right, actually.
I mean, he turned into one at one point. Come on.
Is that because the gap between the first episode where the Colossal shows up and then the military training that happens?
That was a while.
That was a long time.
3 or 4 episodes at least.
But yeah, you're right.
But I mean, there just needs to be more. There seems like this huge threat.
But this has more action than Titan in general.
I don't understand those walls, though. I mean, I guess there might be like a magnet field around them.
I think you're getting your wish, though. I don't think you watched a preview for the next episode. You're probably going to get your wish.
What, more bugs or more world building?
More bugs.
Okay.
They said the wall gets destroyed.
Oh, good. Oh, by class 5?
I don't know, by something, and they said
that excites me.
There's like thousands of bugs like trying to barge in.
Oh,
so
good. Excellent.
You're gonna get what you
want.
Finally,
I hope that will turn this anime around.
Speaking of previews, Nanana never has a preview, and that really bugs me.
I never watched.
I love previews. I don't know. I think I've said this before. It's because as a kid, next time on Dragon Ball Z,
I guess
it's hammered into me. I need previews, but yeah.
I just don't like waiting through the EDs. Sometimes they're good, but.
Black Bullet actually has a really good ending theme.
Oh well, that's the one where she gets like cut a bunch of times, right?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I just listen to it. Oh, okay. I like the music.
So you go on Reddit or whatever, read the comments, or Crunchy?
Usually I just read the comments on Crunchyroll.
Okay, can I hit the button?
Go for it.
Hey,
the Irregular Magic High
We just watched this one, man. It was good.
So...
Well, okay. So last week we said...
Not too much happened.
Last week we said that this series was the dark horse. This episode we were like, man... This series is just so mediocre. Like, there's just so much mediocre about it.
We pulled a complete 180 in one episode.
Because we were just sitting there, and I guess it's maybe because, I don't know, Captain Earth comes out on the same day, which is really unfortunate for a regular high school, but it's just, the characters, I'm not going to do it, don't call me out on it, but I could probably pull a main character or a side character from every anime that I know of that's good, and put them in this season. Everything.
I think we spent the majority of the episode like pairing people up. Like, oh, they make a
good couple.
I ship those two.
I do those.
I ship those two.
It's just nonsense. Like Tatsuya, he's cool.
Most of the episode was just explaining their own. Okay, I like that they explain why stuff is difficult in this universe to do, but man, it's overkill.
I felt like I was at school. I was honestly sitting there like, oh, so you're trying to come up with an anti-gravity spell. Why do I need to know?
Eventually, like, I get the point. Flying is difficult. You don't need to make up all this garbage.
Yeah, but you know what I do honestly like about it? That they do take the time to make the garbage. Props to whoever sits in his office in Japan and makes up that garbage. Because honestly, it sounds realistic and that's cool. But there's just too much of it. Yeah. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
So pretty much in this episode, Tatsuya is elected to the engineering crew, or at least he's promoted, they attempt to promote him, and which is pretty much the person who deals with the CAD systems and all the systems for the big 9 school.
They're going for
Olympics.
the what's it called? Sports festival?
Yeah.
There's 9 magic high schools. Sports festival's going to ensue. They need an engineer because they're low on that. Tatsuya's going to go because he's good at engineering.
I think that's a big issue.
He's also a goddamn robot.
I mean, having a sports festival in the middle of this kind of anime?
What do you mean?
I just think it's a big issue. I just think it's going to drag it down.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Like, I think that, like, oh, it's a sports festival. It would be fun and kiddie, but then...
No, I'm pretty sure it's going to be half an episode of sports festival and then some terrorist attack or something.
Yeah,
so
there better be one no-headed dragon attack.
Because that's what they keep... that's what they've been doing so far.
I hope so. I mean, when this anime gets violent and serious, it gets serious.
It gets good.
Yeah.
But then we have these lulls. So the main crux of this episode that we found, at least, is that they're talking about how hard it is to fly. I don't know why they're so hung up on this, but by the end of the episode, Tatsuya just shows up and he's floating. He's like, yeah, I mastered it.
And then what the heck? And then he gives it to his little sister, and she's flying around like a magical girl. Like, it's not difficult to do.
It's because he made the remote. That does it for you. You just have to, like, channel your magic through it.
But she's obviously flying around and thinking about it.
Yeah. the remote gives you the ability. You just like
have to think.
Command it.
Wow, he must have made it pretty well. But the thing is, that's how OP Tatsuya is. He's just
we discussed this like apparently because flight's so difficult and impossible to do, it makes both of them incredibly overpowered.
Yeah,
Tatsuya's already strong. You can't fight him when he's flying. And Miyuki, what was her name? Is it Miyuki? I think it's Miyuki. Her one weakness is the fact that her magic takes a while to cast. If she's in the air, that's not an issue.
That's not even fair. Like, honestly, I said if this flight magic doesn't change the universe in this series, I'll be super disappointed.
Yeah. Because they
but then again, Tatsuya might not. Because Tatsuya also, he knows how to cancel spells, right? But he also said, I can't release this to the public because it would cause mass hysteria.
Yeah.
So he might not give them flying one. You know, if everyone could fly, it would disrupt everything in society.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet.
I would think so. I would love it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm excited.
Have to buy gas for my car.
I'm excited for where the series is going. It's just pretty mediocre. I mean, honestly, if it ends well or it doesn't end at all, I'll just wipe it from my mind.
Yeah, this episode's kind of going meh. I mean, this episode was meh, but when it gets to the action's really good. Yeah. So it's going up and down.
It's just in the middle, you know? It goes up, it goes down. The jokes are lame. I mean, the relationships are kind of forced sometimes. Like, it's kind of funny.
I really like the redhead. I think I don't know her name. I think she's really cute. And I like her relationship with Tatsuya and the other guys. Leo is hilarious just because he's a caveman.
You're not going to like this very much, but this series totally feels like Valkyrie to me.
Well, you're right about me not liking that statement.
A bunch of high school kids together with superpowers and a bigger than themselves force that they're fighting, and the government's relying on them to do.
Valkyrie was a lot better than this.
The first season felt like that. Second season might have been better, but in my opinion,
the first season was a lot better than this.
I don't know. Yeah, but it just feels that way. The art style feels similar.
We were also talking about how Miyuki is completely ignored by people. Whenever someone's talking, they say Shiba, like Tatsuya's last name and Miyuki's last name, but they're always talking to Tatsuya. Miyuki's she's ignored completely, even though she's like the student, like she's the best.
And it's totally revealed that.
But everybody just knows that Tatsuya's better, and he's just better in every way.
Yeah.
And so she's ignored for that, which is kind of sad.
And it's revealed that Tatsuya most likely is the gun maker guy. Probably.
We're assuming.
Or cousin or brother or something, because every time that they mentioned it, Miyuki like messed up on her computer. And everyone's like, oh, why are you messing up? Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. She's like jealous of the girl.
I figured that like the first time they mentioned him, just because this anime it's not too big on subtlety.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so the Irregular at Magic High School, if you're enjoying it, keep enjoying it. If you're not, no.
I'm still enjoying it. This episode was just kind of, it's too much garbage that they threw at me. That's all. So go ahead and hit the button. Let's move on. Yes, the Crepe Corner! All right, I'm going to reach behind you.
Oh, so we should call it Crepe Corner / Suggestions by Sean.
By the way, shout out to Sean on Twitter. You know who you are, buddy. That picture of Fujimiya with the notebook that said "Some babies die," I laughed for a minute straight. I was just in hysterics. I texted Spencer like through my tears, like, you have to go on Twitter right now. This is amazing. It was so funny, dude. Thank you for that.
It's such contrast to what Fujimiya was looking at. It was so funny. I feel so bad about that.
I'm just gonna mix up the bowl, and then you can go ahead and choose one. Go for it. What does it say?
Favorite anime, not Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Gurren Lagann, or Titan.
Okay, so this one's actually, I made it.
Oh.
So, favorite anime that's not like a well-known mainstream-ish anime.
Meisane Koku.
Wow. Really?
Why?
It's crap.
You watched 2 episodes of an 80-episode series.
That's all I need.
You have absolutely no right to tell me that it's crap. You go on and tell all of your little sexual anime and go ahead, and I'll tell you it's crap. So, how about that, huh?
Do you want to tell them why you like Meisane Koku while I try to figure out what my thing is?
Meisane Koku, for me, is a really, really great romance story. The side characters are amazing. The way they build up the main character and how they bug him and the relationship between the manager and the main character, absolutely amazing. It's just really cute. And it totally was dealing with university and the struggles of university and getting a job and what it's like after university. And it's that seinen series that I really, really like. And because high school's fun to watch, but man, is it different. It's so much different now that I'm 4 years out.
Plus, yeah, we don't relate to it nearly as much as we used to.
And I was relating a lot to Meisane Koku's character. And I don't know. I mean, honestly, there are tons of other anime that I would say are better, in my opinion, than Meisane Koku as my favorite. But right now, honestly, I'd watch it again just because it has such a good hold in my heart for memories. Meisane Koku, one of my favorites.
So, I can't think of a favorite, but I can think of two notable ones. I'm going to say two because the first one, I don't know if it's well known or not. I'm pretty sure it is. Usagi Drop. Oh, yeah. Usagi Drop, the anime, is really good, very sweet. It's very similar to 1 Week Friends, where it's so sugary, nothing really bad ever happens. It's just a very feel-good anime.
It's better than 1 Week Friends.
But it's better than 1 Week Friends because, I'm a sucker for father, son, and daughter relationships, and things happen. Yeah. If you've never heard of Usagi Drop, don't read the manga. I'm just telling you right now.
No.
Don't read the manga.
You can read the manga, but stop at a certain point.
No, just don't bother. The anime's already better.
The anime is great. The
anime's already better. Just don't. Trust me, because what happens is, I'm not going to say what happens, but basically, it takes all the goodness that Usagi Drop is in the beginning, and then proceeds to shit all over itself and make you feel disgusted.
It's like it took the anime, dropped it in like a thing of acid, made it sniff heroin, and then shoved cocaine inside of it, and then shook it up, got it drunk,
and then made it have sex with his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it did.
That's pretty much it.
So that one, so I'm going to give another one that I actually like better than Usagi Drop. I don't know how to say it in Japanese. I'll just say the English, translation. It's "Listen to me, girls, I'm your father," and this is very similar to Usagi Drop. Yeah. What did you?
I never watched it, but you told me to watch it.
I really like it. It's Usagi Drop, but instead of one girl, he has three. Pretty much, he adopts three.
Wow. They ask us what our favorite anime is of all time, and all we put out is slice of life romance.
And then we drop the only slice of life in our recap.
Sorry, guys.
Listen to me, Girls, I'm Your Father is very similar to Usagi Drop, except Spencer, instead of the guy being an adult, he's a college student like us.
Oh.
Basically, his sister dies, and the three girls are going to be split up to different homes, and they all just want to stay together, so he just adopts them all into his one-bedroom apartment.
Like Despicable Me.
And except it's actually a lot better than Despicable Me. This also has a lot of, this actually has, things that happen really badly to him. A lot of dark. I don't want to spoil anything because it's a very short series, 12 episodes, and it's so good. At the very end, it just gives you this really heartwarming feeling. I just feel good inside. Man, this guy's such a good guy. He puts himself through hell for these kids because he just wants them to live together. His sister always put a big importance on family, which he himself didn't. And now that she was gone, he finally saw the importance in family, and he's like, I can't let these girls live without that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he has his own love interest at school, and she's always worried about him, because he's always sleeping in class. He has 4 part-time jobs to try to support these kids. And meantime, they're going to school 2 hours away. It's just all this life stuff. And it's really good.
I might watch it.
It's really heavy at some times, but it always brings itself back up. It's such a good series.
You know what? After everything we said, we can both agree that one of our favorite series of all time is Kuroko. But because it's not finished, it's not really a viable option to talk about at this point.
Ice Shield 21, best sports series ever.
Yes.
With nothing holds a candle to it. Kuroko's great. I love Kuroko.
The manga, not the anime.
Yeah. The anime is absolutely garbage. But man, Ice Shield 21, the manga, holy crap, that's a good series.
Yeah. They work really hard at building character. So good.
My favorite manga series of all time.
Yeah.
Do you think that was long enough, Crepe Corner? Actually, there's something else that I want to talk about.
Dude, we've talked about nothing, and we're at 50 minutes.
There's something else I want to talk about at Crepe Corner. I forgot. So, last week, you talked about Godzilla. I saw Godzilla. I have things I need to say about it.
Oh, no, you reviewed it?
Oh, I reviewed Godzilla. So, you overhyped the crap out of this movie.
No, I didn't.
Absolutely did.
You had no nostalgia, so nostalgia adds +3 to all stats.
That's so lame.
It's true.
Look, okay, it's not better than Captain America. I want to throw that out there first. The movie itself...
Yeah, you're right.
...suffers from 2 big things. Okay, in general, I don't expect great acting from the cast in a Godzilla movie, because historically, Godzilla movies haven't had very good acting. That's just the thing. You expect monster fighting. That's what you want. But this Godzilla movie tries to present itself as this is a movie that's going to have great acting and stuff. The acting in general is okay. Man, this main character, he is so bad.
He's not bad.
He's weak, man.
I don't understand how you thought he was bad.
It's, as an actor, I loved him in Kick-Ass. He was so good in Kick-Ass. And the sequel, fantastic. But in this anime, in this movie, he's just bland and boring and like a cardboard cutout. He's nothing in this movie.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't really have any depth to his character, but he's not horrible.
He's not. I'm exaggerating a little bit. He's not horrible, but he's just not good.
I don't see how he had some good roles for emotion, man.
Look, the bad thing is the first hour and a half of this movie is him. It's all him, pretty much.
They have to have a protagonist, or else you can't just follow Godzilla everywhere.
I know that. That's why I'm saying the lead was weak. It needed a stronger lead. Either Bryan Cranston or Ken Watanabe. I think Ken actually would have been a better main character if we followed everything through his eyes. Because the story kind of flips between the main character and him. And Ken's story is so much more interesting in this movie. Because he's like deeply rooted in the Godzilla stuff. And like, it's all about it. He's been searching for Godzilla for years and stuff. I'm not going to give any spoilers for the movie, by the way. And it's just much more interest from him. When we're with the lead, it feels like I'm watching generic military movie with Godzilla as a backdrop, you know? Mm-hmm. That's just what it felt like. Yeah, Bryan Cranston or Watanabe should have been the main character. I only have two main issues with this movie. The second one is that it gives way too many cuts away from the monsters.
No, it doesn't. That's a style that he does. Listen.
Okay. They did it. Okay, the first time they did it, I liked it because it shows Godzilla. He rises from the water, whatever. It shows him. He roars. It's amazing. They cut away. I'm like, I'm hyped up to see Godzilla the next time. That's great. Godzilla comes again. He roars. It's cool. He's about to punch a monster or something. Cuts away again. I'm like, okay, next time it's going to be great. I can't wait for this fight. Godzilla comes, another monster, cuts away again. They show the fight on the TV for like 10 seconds. Like, look at this fight you could be seeing. Oh, we're not actually going to show you. No, you got to wait another hour for that.
You wouldn't have watched the movie if they showed one long 2-hour giant Godzilla.
That's not what I'm asking for.
It's artistic.
Come on, you're talking to the media student here, man. That was done right.
That was done right.
The first 1 or 2 times you cut away, maybe 3 times, sure. The 4th, 5th time, that's fucking bullshit.
It's not 5 times.
It's 4.
It was not.
It's 4.
Okay, fine.
It's 4, dude.
The time where they were closing the door on the fight, that was good, though.
That was okay. The main issue one I have is the TV one. That one annoyed me.
That was because they had a fight in Hawaii or whatever, and then they were showing the TV in, like, San Francisco.
Sure, but don't tease me with the fight. They're like, oh, this is a fight that's so cool, but you can't see it because it's off screen. But
it
man,
wasn't as cool
don't you wish you were watching this?
Yeah, you do wish. It's called artistic license.
It's called being a fucking idiot.
If you made that movie, I would never watch it. You'd be like, oh, tease, and then Godzilla's everywhere. Look, it's Godzilla. He's right on screen. Wow, it's Godzilla. Where's your artistic license, man? And plus, you're not right just because you're dropping F-bombs. You know that, right? Come on. I took film study classes, okay? This movie has some flaws. A lot of flaws, but the cutaways are on purpose. And I
know they're on purpose. That doesn't mean they're good.
They're great.
No.
Yes.
No,
yes.
They do it too many times.
No, they don't.
Really? You don't think it did at least 1 too many times?
No.
What the fuck, man?
It was fine.
No,
because
it wasn't.
We got so much fighting at the end.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. This is what we got. It was Godzilla fighting. It was amazing. And then you cut away to Soldier again. And then you cut back to Godzilla, amazing fight, cut away to Soldier again. Cut back to Godzilla, cut away to people running away.
Because it's called a story, Rajpreet. Welcome to the
story was
world.
Garbage.
Well, you know what? You go back to watching the 1964 one.
I fucking did, and it was better than this.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Wait, you talking about the one with Matthew Broderick?
Oh, no, not that one. That's not 1990s.
Oh, that was 1992.
That was a terrible movie. I'm talking, like, come on, old school Godzilla. Like,
you mean the Japanese one where he was skinny?
Yeah, when he wasn't a chubster. Like, Godzilla versus Destroyer. It's, by the way, they actually called it that because they couldn't get the license to say Destroyer. So it's actually known as Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Oh, jeez.
That is, I still think, the best Godzilla movie ever because it's just so awesome. Look, I don't have the nostalgia for you like you do because I never watched it as a kid. I watched it when I was a teenager, when I was growing up a bit older. But man, this movie had some weak moments. But, okay, the one thing that really could have saved this movie, no, that's not the right word, because I don't think this movie's bad. I really don't.
Oh, really? You don't?
I don't.
Wow, you
I just think it has
F-bombs if someone thinks it's great.
2 or 3. I think it has a lot of issues that people are willing to overlook for nostalgia's sake, which kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
But the one thing, and a lot of people agree with me on this, is if we had one more fight, not a full fight, I'm talking just a little bit, Godzilla tussles with somebody, the monster flies away, it's like we get a little bit of action, and then we're like, good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really hoping they deal with this in the sequel. I don't know.
I'm glad that people are I'm glad this movie's making a lot of money because I'm positive that any sequel they make will be a lot better.
I think they're going to listen to a lot of the critics. I agree with you. There was a little too much like non-Godzilla, but for what it like, this is the problem with like Transformers had. They focused way too much on Shia LaBeouf or whatever you call him, and not a lot on Transformers. That was a big issue. They did kind of fix that later on, but not really.
Well, they got rid of Shia LaBeouf in the next one, so that's good. Okay, these next 2 plot points that I'm going to talk about are kind of nitpicks, but at the same time, they're not. The plot sucked, what I just talked about. But again, it's a Godzilla movie, so I don't expect tremendous plot. I just need you to set up monsters fighting each other, then I'm fine. The writing is really weak in terms of dialogue. There's a lot of, I don't want to call it even corny, it's just really lame, like, dialogue. Like, at one point where they're doing, it's kind of a spoiler. I'm going to make it vague. The one point where they're bringing the things together to do the thing with the monsters, right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
And then one guy's like, 3 birds with one stone. I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah,
Did you have to say that?
That was really lame.
That's the biggest example I could think. That's the one that sticks out in my mind the most. But stuff like that. The only other gripe I have, which isn't too much of a gripe because I'm able to get over it, is that the Mutos were kind of generic looking.
Muto? You mean from Space Brothers? Muta?
No.
This is Muta. They kept saying it, and I was like, from Space Brothers?
They're kind of, someone said that all Western monsters look the same, and I did not agree with them until I saw this movie, and they're kind of right. They look very similar to the monsters from Cowboys vs. Aliens and the monster from Super 8. They have like the hulking body and they have the arms under the arms kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know what's up with Westerners and that kind of style, but I hope for the next movie they like bring Mothra or Gamera.
Well, they reference that.
King Ghidorah, I think that's his name. King Ghidorah, that's what it is. Reference what?
Mothra.
Did they?
Yeah, it was on the... When they were at the place that was...
Yeah.
And they were walking in and it was like, oh no, actually it's not that bad. They walk in, it's like, happy birthday. And then they pass by a fish tank and there was a word moth and like something like that said raw had fallen on top of it and it said like Mothra right on there.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was a reference. Which is why for the whole movie I thought that Western monster was Mothra. And I was like, oh.
It's the most lame moth I've ever seen. What? Most bat-like moth ever.
It had wings, man.
Yeah. So overall, movie's not great. Movie's not bad either. The fight you do get at the very end is so good. Yeah. It's so unbelievably good that it eclipses most of the movie. It's just kind of crappy that you have to sit through an hour and a half of generic soldier to get to it.
I cried, man. I cried a bunch of times.
No, you didn't. No way. I did. You're lying to me.
I honestly did.
At what point?
I can name 2 or 3 times.
Okay, as long as it's not a spoiler, name it.
I can't name it.
Oh, damn it.
Well, obviously if I'm crying,
it's not because this movie.
That's not because a dog was tied to a tree. It was because some big things happened, man.
Oh, did you cry when he was in the building and then it was like
yeah.
Okay.
And it was like,
see, that moment I can understand.
He's such a good actor though.
That was
But like, and later on when they went like this, like zip, and I was like,
oh, and yeah, you're talking about that.
What? And then the last one was when they were like, oh. And then I was like...
I feel sorry for all of our listeners. We're being so vague right now.
Hey, at least we're not spoiling. But
we don't want to spoil Godzilla.
We're understanding. So anyways, I don't agree that... I agree with you that there was one more cut than there should be, and there should have been one more fight. I don't agree with you that the movie was ruined because of it. I think it was enhanced because of it.
I don't think it was ruined because of it, but it was a detriment.
There was a lot of teasing.
I'm okay with the build-up. I've heard some people say the build-up doesn't work because the characters are so weak. I don't agree with that.
I only think one character was weak, and then the black guy with the 3 birds and 1 stone guy.
God, I hate that character. Also, one thing I didn't understand: why does Ken Watanabe have an assistant? She doesn't do anything in the movie.
Yeah, she doesn't do anything.
She's like translating? She's there for the British accent. She doesn't need to translate. He speaks perfect English.
Yeah, he does. Well, I wouldn't say perfect. But...
Oh, Ken Watanabe, by the way, makes the funniest faces in this movie. Like every time it cuts to him, he's making like some kind of face, like his eyes will be bulging and he's like squinting in a funny way. Every time that happened, I started giggling in my seat, and it got to the point where the guy next to me would also start laughing. And he was there with his girlfriend, and we did this for like an hour, and she's like, "Why do you guys keep laughing at this guy? Like, it's so mean." And I'm like, "It's like he's the Japanese Jeff Goldblum." It's just so funny. All right, we got to move on from Godzilla.
Holy cow, we're an hour. We've only reviewed like 5 anime.
This isn't the Godzilla podcast. All right, I'm gonna hit the button this time.
What?
What?
No.
Oh, you're a dick.
Haikyuu. That was last week. Do you know what happened? Oh yeah,
yes.
the ace from the other team showed up and then got wrecked.
only because he showed up at the very end, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it shows that there's a big power spike that Hinata and Kageyama have to overcome. But then they get their own ace back at the very end. He's very good at returns, which is what they're weak on. So I'm assuming he's going to teach Hinata how to do it. And Kei, I think his name is.
Yeah, so pretty much in that last thing, the main ace from the other team focused on the Crow's Kurasu team weakness, which was returning. And he kept serving to Kei, and Kei just kept messing up. And Hinata kept messing up, right? But one of the big things that turned it all around was, again, nobody believing that Hinata and Kageyama could actually pull off.
I have the same issue with this anime that I had with Ace of Diamond, is that I'm just waiting for it to get over all of the buildup, because we've been over this with Kuroko, we've been over this with Eye Shield. Have we been over this with Ace of Diamond? I'm just waiting for them to get over the buildup and just get into the inter-high and start playing. It's not bad at all. It's good, but I've seen this over and over again. Yeah. So it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, overall, this episode showed a lot of good character development, a lot of good build up for the teams that they're playing, and then a new character was introduced. So it was really good.
Yeah. We never talk much about this, but it's because we've seen so many sports anime that it's just the same.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the dynamics between the team captain, Daisan or whatever his name is, and Hinata and Kageyama, and the silver hair guy who's a really honorable dude giving up his setter position to Kageyama and all this stuff.
He didn't do that permanently, did he? I thought that was just for the game.
I think he was just he's kind of stepping back kind of thing, which is kind of sad for him.
I don't remember the guy's name. I think it starts with a T. But the guy who always tries to intimidate people.
Oh, the bald guy?
He is my favorite character. He's so funny. And I love how Kageyama's just like, stop trying to intimidate him, please. Like, just don't do this.
He just does it all the time.
He's hilarious.
Like that one time where they walk around the corner and start intimidating those guys. Then Daisa runs up and goes, I can't leave you guys alone for a minute. He like apologizes.
And I love how Hinata just echoes the intimidation.
I'm waiting for the Dai character to get hardcore. Like I want to see.
Daisan?
Yeah, I know he's going to get hardcore.
He's going to go the way of he's very similar to Hyuga from Kuroko, where he's nice, and then in the game I think he's going to go clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on. Breakblade.
So I'll talk about this one.
Okay, because I haven't watched this yet.
So I caught up to episode 7 of Breakblade, and I have to say,
the latest one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am impressed. Color me surprised, because obviously I'm one of those losers who only watches Crunchy. But I set up some home screen like bookmarks on my phone so I actually can get to it easier. But anyways, man, this series, like I know when you watch it you're gonna find some flaws. But I always do. As of what I've seen so far, I love, because I'm not gonna spoil stuff because I'm gonna wait till Raj catches up to it and then we'll discuss it probably next week.
Probably next week. I think I'm gonna really like the series from what you told me.
Anyways, some huge points that I'm loving so far, completely hand-drawn mech fights. That in itself is amazing.
Always a plus.
Only one use of CGI that I remember, and that was like some crystal around the main mech. Does that sound familiar? It's just always that way. Yeah. But anyways, what I really like though is the relationship between the four main characters. Zess, how do you even say his name? Hodder or something like that? Rygart and Sagine or whatever her name is. That's really cool. Like they all grew up in a university. Like they went to a university together, and it's revealed after 7 episodes how each of them meets, and the bond they have is really cool. But man, like you could totally tell that Sagine, which is the wife of Hodder or whatever.
Oh, they're married?
Yeah, they're married.
Huh.
But they're childhood friends.
Okay.
And apparently one interesting thing was Zess is a guy who was best friends with all of them, kind of a serious super ace pilot, but he was a civilian of Athens, it's called. Athens is the major country to the west. Then there's, I don't remember what the main country is there, but there's Orlando, which is the west side. Athens, Orlando, and then the main place in the middle. And the main place in the middle is the same thing as No Game or No Life, where they have just the smallest territory.
Okay.
But they're blessed with abundance of quartz mining. Like that's what they have. And Athens is running out. They only have supplies for 10 more years. And without quartz, because in this world magic is based on quartz, without quartz they're screwed. So they started pushing into the central country's territory. But all that happened really was Orlando was doing an international training regimen in the main central place, but then went straight through and attacked Athens and then pulled out. So Athens got mad at the central country for allowing that, but the central country, Hodre is the king, actually, of that country. He was duped, and now he's stuck in this war, And one of the big issues of this series is that Athens is demanding Hodre's, or whatever his name is. I'm just call him Hod. I'm going to call him Hod. Don't get mad at me.
Okay.
Hod's country is actually being asked to surrender. And Hod doesn't care. He never wanted to be king. He doesn't really care about being king. But he likes his country. He's like, you know what? I will surrender. But they tagged, I'm not going to tell you, but they tagged on a third kind of rule. If they give up, they have to do this, like a demand. The first two is that the royal family has to step down and that there has to be a major resettling of the royalty in the main place. And that's the only two demands that Zess knows, because Zess is attacking. But there's a third demand that Hod knows as well as Rygart, and it's not good. Like, it's... Do you care if I spoil it for you?
No, just do it.
Okay, so the demand is, if you surrender, we have to kill Hod and Sigyn. All of the royal family has to die.
Okay.
But Zess doesn't know that. And so Zess is trying to get Hod to surrender because, like, just surrender, we'll treat you well, all this stuff. But he doesn't know that two of his best childhood friends will die if that happens.
Okay.
And so Rygart is a guy who can't even use magic, right? So he's just stumbling along. He kind of just wants to take care of his brother, because his brother's also an unsorcerer. And his dad was such a boss. Like, his dad had all this magic gear set up when his son was born, and his son couldn't even lift the quartz. He's like, crap. Sells all of his stuff and teaches his son how to be a man with his hands. Like, farming and all this stuff. Like, he ditches his whole life. Then he dies. I don't know what happened to his dad. But, so Rygart, I like his main character because he's really straightforward, but he doesn't want to be involved with the military. But then when his friends were in danger, he turns around and helps them. And so there's this whole thing where Rygart is now introduced to kind of in the military with a mech that he finds, and it's really cool. I like, the fight scenes are really cool. There's death, and man, it's some bloody death. And there's a moment, I'm not going to spoil for you, that was just like, oh. Let's just say Rygart makes a mistake, and something happens, and yes, it's really sad.
Okay.
So, series is up there with No Game No Life, beating Black Bullet, hands down.
Oh, we made the big four.
It's in the big four, man.
Now it's the big five, I guess.
Okay, because... No, it's big four. Black Bullet fell out.
Oh,
it's in the fifth.
It's still up there for me.
But anyways, Breakblade is really, really good. And the world is really big. And there's some hardcore characters. And everyone's like coming into the main capital and they're having to fight. And what I like is that his mech is unstable, but it has crazy acceleration and crazy... It's like way different than the quartz-based machines they're building now. And no one knows how to use it.
What do you mean unstable?
Well, it's just unbalanced. It's what they say is, after analyzing it, because the Zygon girl, the queen, she's a really nerd. She's a big science nerd. So she's studying the mech, and she's like...
So she's Winry?
Kind of, yeah. Actually, it actually seems that way. She actually, she looks at it and says, this feels like it was built in a rush. Like it was made for a single purpose in a big rush. And then it kind of drops out. And so they're trying to decipher the language on it and all that stuff.
Okay.
And it has a Valkyrie like time limit. So he can only use it for about 15 to 30 minutes. And then it has to rest for 24 hours.
Is he a vampire like he was in Valkyrie?
No.
That's not as cool.
But he can't use magic.
Is he going to rape his best friend like he did in Valkyrie? Or...
Sounds like I would not watch this series if it wasn't. So anyways, Breakblade, if you've caught up.
Hey, you said there's excessive fan service and you're still watching it.
There's only not excessive fan service. It's unreasonable fan service. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You're gonna see it, you're gonna be like, what?
I think I'm gonna see it and go, yes.
Well, there are like, busty girls in this anime, but they're all covered in their suits and stuff. And what the heck? Okay, anybody listening, what is with the aging? Like, Zess says he's 25, which makes sense. And I assume Rygart is the same age. But man, some of the girls on Zess's team look exactly the same age as him, but they're like 14, they say. And I'm like...
So they're going that route, huh?
I'm like, what?
Makes sense.
It doesn't... You have to watch it, because you understand my shock.
You remember in Gurren Lagann, Yoko was 16? She didn't look 16.
Okay, this girl is bigger than Yoko, and she's 14.
I don't know. I don't like that. Yoko was like pretty much
she's like a
big as like...
She's got the voice. I think she got Onodera's voice.
Oh, she's one of those.
Yeah.
I don't like
but she... Okay, in one of the newer episodes, she goes hardcore, and she wrecks crap. Because she's apparently a protege, but she loves Zess and it's all this stuff. I don't know, man. If you're following me up to episode 7, crap's gonna go down. Like, a character that I did not expect to die, died.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, but what? Like, he gets so wrecked, it's not even funny. Like,
Are we talking like Faust wrecked?
No, I'm talking like ripped in half wrecked.
Ooh, I like that.
But like, it's crazy. Anyways, Breakblade is really good. It comes out on Mondays, I think. So the new one's coming up in 2 days, so that's exciting.
That's good because I don't.
Ping Pong comes out on Thursdays. So,
all right, I'm gonna hit the button this time. The Kawaii Complex.
So it's me again.
Great.
So Kawaii Complex was excellent this time around.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
What happened was
something happened.
There's a streaker going around. So
I'm assuming they assumed it was Shiro.
Yeah. So
of course.
the streaker apparently is going around and saying, "Wow, it's really hot this time of year." Pulls his pants off and just like flashes any woman who comes and then just assaults them. So he's really a really big creep. But he has long hair and glasses, so he doesn't really look like Shiro. But Shiro is like uncomfortably happy, as he always is, because they're reading about it and they're looking at him. He's like, "Look, it's not me. I just get excited at the thought of how stalkers and strippers are treated." He just likes that. I don't know. It's weird. So there's all this banter that goes on. And so they tell Ritsu.
Shiro is just the center of the comedy.
She's so good. He is so good. So Ritsu is like, she's so ADD. She will read her book, not ADD, sorry. She's so focused. She'll walk home and read her book all the way home and not focus.
Right, I remember
so
that.
Usa gets assigned his bodyguard duty, pretty much fake boyfriend. And Ritsu's all aboard because she wants to read her book.
Lame.
And Usa says this is lame. Just like you said. He's like, this sucks so bad. Because he's like waiting at the gate. Because she asked her to. She goes, "Oh, are you waited for me?" Book. And she reads the book all the way home. And he's like, he looks at her and he's like, "Oh, wow." Because she's like, "Oh, it's really hot." And she's like sweating down her neck. She's like, "I'd really like to like feel that." And he's like, "What the heck, Usa? I'm worse than the stalker. What's wrong with me?" He's like, "I can't be trusted." So they go home. And then there's a police report that that the stalker gets apprehended. And so like Usa's like, "Dang it. I was really like, I know summer was coming up, but I was really hoping that this would last a little longer." And everyone...
I thought he didn't like it.
He likes it, but he doesn't like it because he likes being with her. But he's like, this really sucks because she's giving him nothing. No thanks, no anything. And what's her name again?
Mayumi?
Yeah, sorry. Mayumi is just taking every opportunity to just make fun of him.
Names?
Just make fun of him. Just wreck, like, ruthlessly.
Well, he deserves it.
So one day...
he's a prick.
Ritsu goes... He's really nice. He actually shows his hardcore form here. So Ritsu goes to the library, but she gets a new book and she stays really late. So she's walking home alone, and Usa's kind of like, "Man, it's getting pretty late." And then he's outside kind of looking for Ritsu to see if she's on the way home. And these two girls run by and goes, "Oh, there's a really creepy guy saying it's hot outside." And they saw him by the subway or whatever. He's like, "Oh no." So Ritsu is reading a book, and this guy walks up in front of her and goes, "Wow, it's really hot." Pants down. She just walks right by him because she's reading the book, right?
Of course, yeah.
And all of a sudden he grabs her and like turns her towards him, but then he gets like destroyed by Usa. Usa like comes out of nowhere and just like knocks him to the ground. So he staggers away. Out comes Mayumi to just like destroy him, and then Sayaka, a kick to the naked balls. Like, it was... So he was walking up, she goes, "Oh, I'm tripped." Boom! And he goes, boom, 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 boom. And then they go, "Oh, Shiro, it's not time for you to use that useless skill of yours." And so he ties him up. And then they go, "Why didn't you pull his pants up before you tied?" And he's like, And so he gets arrested. But that's not over. Like, and I love the dynamics between the group. It's actually really good. So now we're at like the last 8 minutes, and they're kind of celebrating the heat or whatever. It's hot. Sumiko says, the old lady, she's like, "I don't want to cook and I don't want to pay." And Mayumi's like, "Well, I'm not going to pay because I work today." And Sayaka's like, "Well, I'm a college student and I think Shiro should pay because he'll like that." And I go, "Oh, don't make me pay." And so he's like, "My wallet's going to hurt more than me." And so they go to the restaurant, which is apparently Sumiko's old friend. So she runs a restaurant, but the Sumiko's friend says,
so stupid.
I have a cafe, old Japanese cafe that I'm running, and I need someone to work for it, but I need someone who's able to handle messed up people." And they walk in, and Uso's like dealing with all these messed up people. Like, Shiro's squirming about something that he can't pick some sort of thing, and someone's messing with him. He's trying to get out of Ritsu what she wants to order. Mayumi's crying about some relationship. Sayaka's messing around with somebody, and he's like dealing with all these people, actually figuring out how to get their orders. And then she goes, "I want him." And so it all ends up, Usa says, "Absolutely not. I will not work at your thing. I don't want to deal with any more weird people." Because it's revealed that in high school, he was called Master of the Freak Show because everybody in high school would gather around him. There was like this girl who told ghost stories and would follow him around, and like the messed up science nerd. And
sounds awesome.
Yeah, but they'd all follow him, and he'd be the unofficial leader, even though he had nothing to do with it.
That sounds like a great group of friends.
So Usa kind of was like, oh, I don't want this. But then he ended up, he's like, I have no hope. Like, I'll always find them. So it ends up that there's like a dress code at this cafe.
This is such a loser.
The dress code at this cafe makes him dress like an old school schoolboy, like the long robe with the white and the hat. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a delivery boy / attendant / whatever, and it's really formal, whatever. So Sumiko gets him to try it on, and Ritsu walks around the corner and goes, and just like is absolutely like enamored by him, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, her eyes are like sparkling, and she's blushing, and so they like bundle up a bunch of books and give it to him, and he's like, "Why am I holding this?" And she goes, and he goes, "Do you like this?" She goes, "Yeah." He's like, "I'll take the job." And so he immediately takes the job, and that's kind of where the episode ends. So it finds out that she has a fetish for schoolboys or something. Like not a schoolboy. I'll have to show you the picture.
It's gonna be so dumb.
But it's good.
That's why I don't like Usa. He has no spine.
He's got a lot of spine.
No,
you haven't watched since like a long time ago.
It's been like 2 weeks, dude. It hasn't been that long.
That if you picked up the series again, you'd like it. I know you would.
The description of this episode reminds me of a manga that I read a long time ago. If I don't remember the name, if any of our listeners can tell me if this sounds familiar to you, that'd be awesome. A very similar thing happened where there was this girl who was walking home. She actually, this is a very dark manga, by the way, like super, super dark. Her past is that I think she got raped by her father and he impregnated her. And so she had to get a C-section because he wouldn't let her have an abortion. And her mom wouldn't believe her. And then she like completely moved away from that family because she couldn't deal with that crap anymore. But she would never she would never show her stomach because of the scar for the C-section. Hugely traumatizing. And this guy, the main character, finds out by an accident. And he's like, he's in love with her. He's like, I'd love at first sight. And he wants to get with her, but she trusts no man. Understandably, of course. So she starts to trust him, like, little by little. Like, he starts building up a trust with him. And then she's walking home one day, and it turns out there's a rapist on the loose. And, of course, he finds her, and he starts tearing off her clothes. He's gonna rape her. And our main character's, like, a normal guy. Like, completely normal. Not strong in any way. Boom! Lead pipe to the back of the head. The rapist is gone. He starts beating the rapist over and over and over. And he's like, "You're disgusting. You don't deserve to live." And he's trying to kill this guy. Like, legitimately, there's blood everywhere. And she grabs him and stops him. She's like, "It's not worth it." And this manga was amazingly hardcore. It was really short because I read it all. I read the entirety in one sitting. And it was just... It was amazing. It dealt with like false rape accusations. It dealt with really crazy girls. It dealt with stillborn babies.
Oh wow!
This manga was so heavy, but man, was it good.
So Kawaii Complex wasn't that heavy.
No, but it kind of reminded me of that. It's, not nearly as awesome.
I love the Kawaii Complex. The characters in that. It's so I think it's really neat how they all eat dinner together all the time, and there's all this relationship. And it's so funny because at one point at the very end, where she's like, I thought was thanking him. She would just come over here to step into the girl's side with all the weapons. And she's holding a bat. And he's like, okay. Steps in and just gets destroyed. And I was like,
what the hell is that?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever.
I think, whatever. I don't know. But that was kind of a weird moment. But
this anime's just...
It's still good, man. It's still beautiful.
So, if anybody knows that manga series I was talking about, please tell me. I wouldn't mind reading it again. It was good.
Your turn. Finally, I've been talking way too long.
Akuma no Riddle. Okay. So Akuma no Riddle, first 3 episodes of this series, really good, setting everything up. And then the following episode, the first assassination, fantastic. Assassin was so cool. Assassination in general was really good. The next 2 assassins, like I said, awful. Completely cliche. Really, really boring backstories. The next assassin, which was last week, brought it back a little bit. She had a unique backstory. Her method assassination was actually pretty interesting, but incredibly ineffective. I don't know why you would do it. We discussed that last week. This week, Akuma no Riddle has gone back up to what it used to be.
Oh,
it's
really?
Good. It was really good because there's only 3 assassins left. I miscounted last week. There's only 3 left. And there's only like 4 episodes left or something like that. And they decide there's a big storm coming, a typhoon. They're like, this is it. This is the night. So one of the assassins gives the note, but writes another assassin's name on it. So they get a surprise attack. It's the one I hate who refers to herself in third person. She calls herself Isuke-sama. Her backstory is really cool. I really like her. Her parents were like, I think, meth addicts or something, to the point where they were starving their own kids because they weren't giving them any food in order to pay for the drug addiction. And then her adoptive father, who was an assassin, killed her parents and rescued her, but it was too late for her younger brother. He had already starved to death. So pretty dark backstory. Yeah. Which is why, like, she's going through this to get enough money to, like, put both of her adoptive parents into, like, a really good retirement. She's like, they deserve this. So that's her purpose. I really like that. That makes a lot of sense. So she actually, because she's the only one who knows that Tokaku is unable to kill because of something in her past. And so she's the only one who can fight Tokaku head on because she has no fear. She's like, I know you will never go for my vitals, so I can just cut you as much as I want because I won't die. And she beats the shit out of Tokaku. It's awesome. And Tokaku realizes that there's no way she can fight her with Haru by her side. So she locks Haru in her room. She's like, stay here for 48 hours, whatever. Even if I die, you'll be fine. And she goes one-on-one. Another assassin comes, breaks down the door with a giant hammer, throws the note at her. She's like, this is it. You're dead. And so it's 2-on-1. There's one assassin who hasn't done anything. She's actually said, she's like, I'm not doing anything till the last day. Just because, like, there's something, she's like sick or something. She's like, I'm not going to do anything at all. You two do whatever you want. So there's a giant typhoon, giant storm. It's dangerous outside. Tokaku's busy fighting Isuke. The girl who has a split personality is after Haru now. Haru has nowhere to go. She's cornered by a giant mallet. This anime's going places, man. It's finally back to...
Wait, is that how it ended?
That's how it ended.
Oh,
giant cliffhanger. I love where it's going because it has enough room where it's going to devote at least 2 episodes to the final assassin, who is definitely going to be the best one. And if it isn't, this is going to suck ass. But I really hope that the last assassin is going to be best. Man, this episode was good. Cool. I loved it. Tokaku had pretty good development where, because if she wins, like, you have to give what do you want as a prize? And Haru asked her, like, what are you going to do after graduation? Tokaku was like, don't talk to me. And she walks away. And then she has a crisis. She's like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm only protecting her because she's like me. What do I do after that? And she just has this internal crisis. So she doesn't know, like, what she wants to do in the future. This anime's good, man. It's finally back to what I wanted it to be. I've been really disappointed in the last couple of weeks, but I'm so happy it's back.
Excellent.
Akuma no Riddle.
Yeah, you were sounding like you were going to drop it, actually.
If this next episode was a turd, then I probably would have. It's back.
Cool.
Thank you, Akuma no Riddle, for coming back to me. No Game, No Life.
The thing is, this anime does a good job of doing a Step episode right. And you know what? Honestly, I don't even want to hear your crap about Steph being a side character. She was good this episode. She was really good.
I was thinking about it. My issue isn't with Steph. I don't have a problem with her, actually. I really like her.
Because she has a lot of issues,
My issue is
man.
I don't give a crap about her grandfather. I really don't care about this
guy.
Well,
he's probably out of the picture now.
I hope so, because most of the episode was it revolved around him, and I didn't care. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's a fool. Maybe he isn't a fool. I don't care about that. Just get the story going. Well, the story I do like what they did with it.
That's a little too brash, because I mean, the story would go nowhere if it wasn't for the grandfather.
They could have found another way.
Was a fool on purpose.
I know. I do like what they did with it. But at the same time, it's not like it wasn't predictable. I saw that coming.
The fan service in this series is getting a little overwhelming for me, though.
Was there fan service this episode?
The whole shower scene and the tentacle attack.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And every single time they have a chance, they do panty shots.
I really like... I don't know how to say her name. Jibril?
Jibril, yeah.
I like what they do with her because she just pops out of nowhere and just says something really funny. So I like how she's being used. I like her obsession with trying to figure out what their bodies do and how they have complete control over her. And how she calls Stephanie Dola-chan. She won't even recognize her first name. It's pretty funny. I like where this is going.
The series was good.
This episode was
lower. The only build-up that they kind of did was that the War Beasts are masters of strategy because they can read minds and...
wipe memories afterwards.
Wipe memories. Well, that was just something that they did. They, used the demands of the game to wipe a memory.
Yeah.
It's not really their skill. So they've actually won against the elves, against the Flying Fortress people, the humans... And it turns out that the king was actually betting useless things to the humans in order to figure their game out. But because he was probably sworn to keep secrecy in life, because after death, he wrote a book and gave the key to who he hoped was a big gambler, which is why he set up a gambling tournament. And I like that was addressed because we were like, why the heck is the next king being chosen by a gambler or a gambling tournament? That seems stupid, but it made sense.
Yeah. Again, I saw the fool thing coming. I didn't see the gamble thing coming. That was kind of nice.
I actually didn't. I didn't.
You really?
No. I like the Nausicaa Valley of the Wind type room. You haven't really watched it, but
I watched like an hour. I couldn't even get.
But it looked a lot like the Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Is that how you say your name, Nausicaa?
Nausicaa? I don't know.
I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's the last episode was so good.
Yeah, but so you can't expect every episode to be good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No matter what this episode would have been, it was gonna be a step down.
Yeah. And that's just how it is. And honestly, I'd love to review these again if we could binge through them, especially this one in Irregular. I think that they get a lot better if we could binge them.
Yeah. Well, No Game No Life is still pretty good regardless, but it's just I want to get to the next one right away.
Yeah. So No Game No Life was a great step episode. Character development's good. Story is moving along nicely. However, I'm kind of concerned because if it is 12 episodes,
we're running out of time.
We're running out of time.
Yeah.
And they might hope maybe a second season.
I think, like I said, I thought he would beat at least one other country, get their piece. Maybe two. I highly doubt it. I think he'll beat the War Beasts, and then they'll have some like jokey episodes or more setup episodes, and that'll be the end of the season. That's where I see where it's going.
Second season.
This anime is extremely popular. I highly doubt it won't get a second season.
Yeah. Okay.
Hit the button. Captain Earth.
So that's a lower. If you guys want to experience what we were experiencing when we tried to watch Captain Earth, just half unplug your headphones and try to listen to this podcast.
Hello. Type A. We need to beat the kick gang.
Everybody, let's just
Delete button 4
So pretty much what we're doing there is we tried to watch it on Crunchy, his phone, my laptop, everything, and the quality was
garbage.
It was butt.
It was pretty bad.
It was good as dicks.
Which
is not that good.
Unwatchable. Well, to you it was watchable. I would not put up with that.
No. So we didn't get to watch Captain Earth this week. We're going to review it and the next episode,
which
podcast.
Sucks because I love Captain Earth.
Yeah, which is also the same as because we had to start this podcast a little earlier because I'm having a wedding shower this afternoon that we're both attending.
I asked my mother like what's a wedding shower? Because I've never heard of this, and when she's like, I don't know, a bridal shower. I'm like, no, that's already happened. Like, what's a wedding shower? She's like, an excuse for white people to get more gifts.
How rude. It is true. It's very true. So pretty much all we're doing is...
by the way, you bastard.
What? Oh, all right. I forgot.
24-hour notice? Like, really?
Okay, you know what? I see you guys
I'm in your wedding party?
I see you all the time, and I forgot that I hadn't just told you, because everybody else who's in my wedding party is affiliated with my family somehow. And so they know because their parents told them and all stuff, so I thought it was out of my hands. So then I let you know, and the other guy in my wedding party, Ray, who is also, East Indian, and, their bromance is unshakable.
Talk about me and him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't come because he's working today.
So I'm gonna be the only brown guy at this.
It's not that bad.
Party.
There's other.
I'm not as socially awkward as Ray. I can.
Ray has a huge problem.
It's just.
So, anyways,
you're trying to make me look bad, man. You gave me 24 hours notice. I got you a birthday gift, but
that's true.
I didn't have time to get you a shower gift.
But it's okay. Just say it if you really want to. You don't have to. If you really want to get me a gift, because you don't have to, just give it to me at the wedding.
I already have your wedding gift.
Oh, do you?
Planned.
Well, then don't even worry about it.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't have cleavage.
No.
Okay, good.
It's well, there's two parts to it. One that I highly doubt you'll show anybody because it's something that only anime fans would love.
Okay.
The other one anybody can appreciate.
So yeah, no Captain Earth will be next week.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. If you were really hoping.
All right, I'm gonna hit the button.
That's what I thought.
Ping Pong.
So you're on episode 3, and I'm caught up to episode 7.
I don't know how to peg this series. We've gotten so many requests for this anime, so we finally watched it. You're caught up. Okay, everybody said get past the art style, and then it's good.
And that's so true.
But I didn't have to get past the art style because I actually really like it.
The art style's good. The animation's a little schizophrenic.
I literally got a headache from watching. I had to watch an episode and take a 30-minute break and then watch another episode because it gave me headaches.
I'll take the reins on this one for a little while because you've only watched up to episode 3.
I don't know how to peg the series.
There is great character development going on. By episode 7...
But they skip a bunch of it. Between episode 2 and 3, episode 2, it's like he faces the coach, right? And he beats the coach. And the episode 3, when they're into high, there was 2 months they just skipped.
Yeah. But it's needless. You don't need all that needless grinding.
No, but see, in other sports anime like Kuroko, even Baby Steps, the action in the play is good enough to stand on its own. Ping Pong's really boring to watch, man. Even in anime
That's because Weak Smile, nobody cares about.
But he's not weak. He could beat the China guy, but he let him win.
Yeah, he did, actually. Well, he made a mistake. But
no, he did on purpose.
Honestly, by episode 7, you'll begin to understand.
If I get that far.
Smile is kind of messed up.
Also, the name, as soon as they said it, I felt like I was back in Hamatora. Bad memories, man.
Oh, Smile. Yeah, a birthday.
Nice.
So, Smile, I believe he's a really 2D character at this point. I don't really feel like he's that dimensional, but we're getting there slowly. All the other characters, like Peko and Huang, if that's the name, Kazuma and Akuma.
I really like Huang.
Okay, Huang takes a great turn later on. A really good turn.
The first episode was boring the hell out of me, but when Huang showed up, the one scene where Huang and whoever the guardian is, and they're just listening to the two play ping pong, and they're like describing the game and the attacking and stuff, that was awesome. That was fantastic.
But we find, like, what I like about this series is that it's doing all the stuff that I'm not predicting. Like Peko, like he gets wrecked.
Yeah, he got
and
destroyed.
Then he gives up and gets fat. And
he gets fat?
Yeah, he gets fat. Everyone keeps commenting how fat he is.
That's pretty funny.
But then he makes like a complete 180 after this big situation with this other guy, Akuma, who gets completely wrecked by Smile. Because Akuma's the really slanted eyes guy that looks like this. Really messed up looking face.
I don't think I've seen him yet.
Someone in the anime called him like poster boy for awkwardness. So
anyways, is he the guy who's on the team where everybody shaves their head?
Yeah.
Okay, I know who he is.
So anyways, he's trying to emulate Peko a lot. He copied his racket, copied his style, but he didn't have talent. And so are you mind if I talk about it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so he comes back to Smile's school because he's finding out that Smile's actually pretty intense. But Akuma's school Kaio or something does not approve of unwarranted battles between players. And if you lose those battles without asking permission, you're kicked off the team.
Interesting.
So he plays Smile knowing this and gets wrecked. Absolutely destroyed. Smile just destroys him to a point where Smile's like, if you're not going to play, leave. Just leave. I don't want to waste my time on you. And then goes and starts training. And Akuma goes, beats the crap out of some guy who bumped him on the street, gets suspended from school for 2 weeks, and then starts working in construction. Just gives up. But then he meets back with Peko, who's now a fat kid. And Peko, tries to commit suicide, but not really. He just jumps off a bridge just because he's Peko. He's messed up. Peko's so weird. But then ends up...
I don't think anybody in this series is normal.
But then ends up almost drowning, and then Akuma saves him and says, don't you dare waste your talent, because I could never have that, and walked away. And so Peko starts training again with the grandma, the Obaba, from the pool, the ping pong house.
Yeah.
And he starts getting a little better. So there's all of these... And then the Kazuma guy who you don't meet is the best player in Japan. And he wrecks Huang. Just destroys Huang. And Huang can't lose. So
right, I know that.
He gives up on ping pong, kind of, and becomes a coach of a Japanese team and meets his mom again and has all this fun. But in the end of the next episode, Huang's Japanese coach, not his guardian, because his guardian had to give up on him and leave. And there's this really emotional moment. He starts playing against a ping pong robotic arm that's designed as Kazuma's skills. And so all these characters are now having these huge up and down moments and are building up towards a really awesome thing. And I think that's really cool.
I don't know, man. This series is weird.
It's weird for sure.
I'm going to give it a couple more episodes still, because I'm only on episode 3. Usually by the 3-episode rule, I know if I'm going to drop the series or not, but I still can't peg it. I don't know how I feel about Smile at all.
Dude, this anime...
I know I don't like Peko.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like his personality. I love... The guy, their senpai, who has the tree here.
The Ota? Yeah.
He's so funny.
He is really funny.
And the coach, hey, Mr. Takuma.
Okay, but there gets to a point later on where Smile and Ota actually kind of click.
Who's Ota?
Ota's the
tree hair guy.
Because everyone's so mad at Smile because he's so good. And there gets to a point where Smile takes over pretty much the school, so much so that everyone just becomes his ball boy. And everything. He's an arrogant person, but not because he wants to, but because he was bullied when he was younger. I don't know. Watch it. You'll understand. At this point, episodes seem to fly by for me when I'm watching it.
Every episode I watched, which again, only 3 of them, has felt incredibly slow to me.
There was even a montage in episode 6. It was good.
I really didn't like episode 3 just because of the humming during Smile's playing. It just irritated me. Ugh.
I have a feeling that you don't quite understand / appreciate meta stuff. That's what I feel like. I feel like you don't like things that have a bunch of extra layers to them.
How was him humming?
Because that's there's so many underlaying stuff.
Give me an example, dude.
Well, I don't know how to explain it.
If you don't explain it, how am I supposed to understand?
Because I don't have a list. But at this point, your complaints a lot of the time, like especially with Godzilla, were because of you didn't like the way he cut it, like the way he edited it. But there was a lot more meaning to that. It was supposed to drive you in, but you're like, this is garbage. F this, F that. And then this, you're like, I don't like the humming because it bothered me. Man. But that humming had to do with like his childhood, and it's like, I don't know.
No, I saw the humming as him just setting the rhythm. It's like, this is going to go at my pace and nobody else's.
And he just didn't really care. But like the fact that I guess it's allowed to bother you.
For him, it was like, the way I saw the humming, it irritated me because just the voice actor I don't particularly like.
I like
my
him.
Ears. I like him when he's talking. I don't like him when he's humming.
Of course, he sucks at singing.
It's like,
but there's meaning behind it.
Because he knows he could destroy him. He's relaxed enough to hum.
Oh, and another thing, the best part about
this, don't get this subtly.
The best, well, you do, but you don't appreciate. You don't like it for some reason. I don't know.
I will agree with that one.
So
you're right.
The ping pong. What I like about the ping pong the animation is that. Do you remember that picture where the guy's sitting on a table with butterfly wings coming out of his back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was him, wasn't it?
No. You're like, who the heck is that?
I thought that was Smile.
No, I'm not going to tell you who it is because it's actually a pretty big reveal.
Okay.
But the connections that this anime and the hints that it drops are so good. And you think it's schizophrenic in the way that it's flashing images. But even that statue in front of the school of the guy holding the ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even he means something.
Okay.
And the butterfly, like, it all means something. It's really cool. Like, yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you because it's actually a pretty good reveal. But yeah, it's really cool.
I liked your texts to me. This is how Spencer described the series to me. It was like,
this is my transition.
It was dude, this anime looks like butt. What the hell am I even watching? It's like, and then you went, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. And you went, okay, this is pretty good. And you're like, all right, this is amazing. Like,
I just couldn't, like,
I watched hours
the first
apart.
episode, I was like, what the heck am I watching? I thought, is it rotoscoped? No, it's not. And then it goes on and it's like, I
really like the art style.
Just watch.
Just the animation.
You're going to love the ping pong match between Kazuma and Hwang. It's going to be great. You're going to like it. It comes out quickly.
I really like Hwang. I like that they have a character who speaks no Japanese.
He's learning.
And they just, I don't know, I like the clash there. Yeah. It's nice.
I've never actually heard Chinese in an anime before.
I have, but I've never heard it used like always.
He learns though. By episode 7, he's pretty good at it. Japanese.
Smile, I see him very much as a Hikaru from Hikaru no Go. He was very similar, like had the talent, but no motivation. But I don't know. I still don't really know how to peg him. I don't know if I like him or not because it's just, I don't know. He's weird. This anime is weird in general. I know I don't like Peko for sure.
Honestly, I'm going to tell you, unlike, Kawaii Complex, which you dropped, stick with this one because I think it's going to go places, or at least, and you know what? We dropped Makaku because we just hated it. The art style did nothing for it. We hated the characters. This one, the art style is amazing. The animation's a little upsetting.
I would say it's amazing, but I'd say it's unique.
I think there's so much depth to these characters that we're not going to get. I really like the characters a lot. I really do.
I'm not there yet. I'll have to see.
Yeah, just watch all 7. I hope you understand.
7? That's a lot, man. That's a big commitment.
It's an ongoing series.
I know, but then see, I have to watch it and I have to take a break because my head's going to explode.
It's not. You get used to it. You need to man up, man. It's not that difficult.
Oh, dude, you have no idea how bad the headache got.
Want me to take a guess?
It's pretty bad. Okay, go ahead. Guess what the next one's going to be.
Chaika.
Oh, you got it, man.
Because it's the last one.
Oh, okay. You're keeping track. This was the best episode of the week. This was...
Not true. Breakblade was better.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
Chaika is good. Chaika's so good. And it's so funny. This episode was hilarious. I'm feeling really bad for Frederica now because she keeps doing all this stuff for Toru.
Yeah.
But he never fights her. And she even refuses, like, I'm not going to do anything for you anymore until you fight me. And that's fair. I mean, like, you got to do something for her. She can't just, she's not your dragon to do whatever you want.
But I like that she joined in just because people were going to get killed.
I do like
how... And I liked how shocked everyone was. Like, what?
Yeah, they're like, you have a dragoon, oh my god.
Yeah, that's not really fair, actually.
And I do like how Gillette believes Chaika when she says she just wants a funeral. Like, he knows.
He believes her. His teammates say don't
teammates don't, but you can understand why.
Yeah, of course.
I like that Toru has fallen in love with Chaika, but he doesn't know it. I like that Chaika has fallen in love with Toru, but she does know it, and she'll throw fruit at him.
And then there's Akari.
And, okay, Akari's just, why am I not an option? He's like, it should be obvious.
No, but he's like, wait, I thought you weren't. Like, no comment. But I love the illusion scenes. They were ridiculous.
Oh, they were so funny.
They were so ridiculous.
Oh, man.
He was such a pansy. Like, when she was driving away, he's like crying and stuff. And who the heck was his name? Gillette was like Armagondo or something like that? He's like, who are you? Wait, what?
He pulls a severed arm from his chest.
And then she waves with it, and they ride away.
She's speaking full sentences.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, she was.
That was really weird.
Sentences.
Chaika's not nearly as cute when she speaks in full sentences.
And then he's crying, and I love it when, like, Akuri's like, I'll get it, pulls her hammer out, and I was like, oh crap. Just destroys his legs, he trips, and he's like crying, and I was like, this is really pathetic.
And then Frederica comes like, wait, gosh, she's beating his ass.
I think it's true. It's so funny because he got slapped, and then he just got beat the crap out. Frederica was totally taking advantage of it.
I love Frederica. She's so funny.
That was great, because he came up all bloody face. He's like, wait, what? That was good.
This was an episode where there wasn't all that much plot.
No.
It was just development between the relationships.
And then that hero. What the heck is with him?
Funny. That hero?
Like
he got betrayed.
Sad backstory, but I mean, he totally reminded me of Gollum. Just like, take it, no, yes. Like, he was just like,
He's just he's given up on life. He's just like, take it away. I don't need it. My life sucks.
I really hope we don't see him again. He wasn't that interesting.
I doubt we will. The best hero so far has been Dominica. Well, she wasn't actually Dominica, but she was definitely the most interesting. Actually put up a fight. I haven't seen Toru go Blood Iron for a little while. I think he did.
He didn't even go Blood Iron against Gillette. Is he making fun of them, or he just didn't have time?
I think it's two things. He doesn't have the time to cast the incantation, and he doesn't want to show his full power yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's only had to go Blood Iron against strong mages and a goddamn unicorn.
Yeah.
So I think that because it's their only source of magic, right? That's the only thing they have, so they want to keep it back. I do like how Gillette groups like completely ignored the farmers, and they didn't even address it. They're like, we're back to Chaika.
Or maybe they did address it or something.
I didn't see that.
Okay, that guy with all the tattoos and the bald head, he's OP.
Not really.
Well, he
commands animals.
He can do AoE scans of an entire
It's not really AoE. He just commands a birdie and looks around.
I guess so.
It's not that big of a deal. I love Gillette's group.
It's so cheap though.
Gillette's group is so funny.
Gillette was pretty manly. When she was threatening with the needles, he's like, your needles are like my sword. And if I was hanging that above someone's head, it wouldn't be a good idea. You need to make sure.
He looks after his group.
Yeah.
He's a good leader. I'm looking forward to the team up whenever the hell that happens. I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting.
It's good. It was
Chaika's so good.
It was funny.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So good. I love Chaika so much. This anime is amazing.
Oh, well, yeah. So The World is Still Beautiful, because we started at 11:40, we couldn't watch the new series episode. So
it's out now, but we don't have time, man.
I mean, if it did release, maybe they'll skip it again this week. I don't know.
So man,
I don't know why.
I'm looking forward to this episode. Okay, The World is Still Beautiful. What I see in it is what people see in 1 Week Friends, where it's very heartfelt, it's warm, it's sugary at times. But what it does that 1 Week doesn't is that it has the darkness and it has the troubles.
And things happen?
Yeah, and it doesn't bore me to death. This is why I really like it. It's good shoujo. And I'm not a big fan of shoujo. I generally don't like it, but this is done right.
Oh, Itsunarana Kiss, also one of my favorites. Just going back to that Crepe Corner thing, because
in High School Host Club.
In Itsunarana Kiss, the girl goes from high school to post marriage. Like, it's interesting. You really ever see an anime that goes.
Is that the one where she marries a guy who she thought was her brother?
No.
Okay.
There's no incestual undertones.
I know shoujo that's like that. Apparently that was a really good one. It's a lot of back and forth because they realize that they're not siblings, but then apparently they are, but then apparently they're not. And then when they figure out they are siblings, they break up because they're like, this is wrong, we can't do this.
Oh, you mean Oremo?
No. But it was like the morals, but then they find out they're not siblings and they get back together. Oh no. It's they find out that being apart is too painful, and then they said, I don't care if you're my sibling, we're gonna get married anyway.
Oh, so Oremo.
And then they find out they're not actually siblings, like Oremo.
Oh, Oremo.
And then they live happily ever after or something like that.
Sounds like Oremo.
Yeah, we got a lot of requests to review that.
No.
and I don't know if we're gonna, because I don't want to watch that series.
The answer is no.
I really don't want to watch that series.
Because, sorry, I'm a little sick if you haven't noticed. But
you're sick and you're sitting next to me?
Oremo is, on the first season, great, because you know what? It deviated a little bit from the manga.
There's no manga.
Light novel.
Visual novel.
Visual novel.
You're almost there.
Whatever.
H game, technically.
So its origin, it kind of deviated a little bit. But then season 2 dropped, and everything in the universe had changed. It didn't make any sense to me because they were referencing things from either the visual novel or whatever it was. And I was like, what the heck? So I dropped it after 3 episodes because every character development that I had seen in season 1 was completely gone. And I was like, well, what's the point of me continuing this? You know? So
yeah. I
don't really want to follow Oremo, but
one of my university classmates he's like, do you want to know the ending? I'm like, sure, why not? And he just told me the ending of Kirino, I think her name is, her root in the H game. And I was like, Okay, I don't care. Orimo was. It's an overrated anime, honestly. It's just not that good.
It just blew up a couple of years ago, and
it's like Sword Art. Sword Art's also very overrated, but Sword Art has a good reason for that. It's because it's the main audience for that are people who don't know any better.
Like we were playing Maple Story because we were playing like this old school private server for Maple Story for the kicks and the nostalgia, and we're in this party and we're chatting with like my younger brother who also watches anime, but he's still a little newer than me at watching it, and so he's like, oh, like this one guy's like, oh, I hate anime. I watched Naruto once and it sucked, and we were like, we need to fix this. So we're like, you should watch like Log Horizon, because Log Horizon is an MMO anime that actually has a decent world building storyline, and the next season's going to be good, and there really isn't that many plot holes in it. Except Shiro being a hardcore omnipotent god. Yeah. So I don't know, whatever. Anyways, then my little brother's like, oh, Sword Art Online is great, better than Log. And I was like, oh.
Had he even watched Log? I don't think he did.
No. He tried a couple episodes, I guess. It might be too dialogue heavy for him or something.
Well, it was.
But he watched Naruto, so I don't see.
It was like me. I didn't like Log for like the first 5 episodes.
Yeah. But I was like, do it. So which is why I don't understand why you're not listening to me to Kawaii Complex. I mean, I
watched like 5 episodes of that though.
I usually recommend good anime.
Look,
you watched 4.
I can't stand Usa, dude. I just don't like him.
He's not bad anymore. I'm telling you.
But he just doesn't have a spine. He sucks.
He's not.
Okay.
You watch harem series where the guy has a spine than a jellyfish.
Every decision he makes in terms of his love towards her, it irritates me because I'm like, this is not what you do. You don't do this. You do this.
What do you do?
I don't know why it bugs me so much.
Would you not take the opportunity to walk the girl you like home?
Not if she spends all day in a like.
What if there was an opportunity
book.
That she would not pay attention to that book? Because there's been tons of
times.
So
I'm gonna walk home every day hoping, oh please talk to me this day, please.
This is why we don't watch One Week Friends. Because Hase is equally as lame.
I can't stand Usa, dude.
Okay, so we're getting into that.
This is a long ass recap.
That's because we talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good thing we started early.
We're gonna go through our list. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we're gonna go through the anime that we're covering. Say whether or not, if you hadn't started it, whether or not you should catch up to it, if it's worth it or not. So Black Bullet, yes, I think this is worth catching up to. It's still really in its infancy because it's a 24 episode series and it's not even halfway done. So honestly, it could go really good and it could plummet really hard.
Well, it has been plummeting,
but it
could catch up.
I don't think it's going to plummet.
It's worth catching up to, at least.
It really is. The action's fantastic. The characters are great, especially Rentaro and Edge, the two mains. The chemistry between them is fantastic. Main guy's voiced by Aaron. Come on, awesome. When he gets mad, he gets mad. Aaron, his voice actor is fantastic. The story is pretty good. Like we said before, it's Attack on Titan, but kind of in a more futuristic setting. So if you like Titan, it's like this, but less drama and heavier on the action.
And less good.
It's also not as good. That's true.
So the next one, Chaika, is a hands down, please watch, you should watch.
This is my favorite of the season. Chaika is an amazing adventure series with characters that I think are developed so incredibly well. It has a giant world to explore. It has a great branching story where there's still mystery. There's so much mystery in this series. And we're over halfway done this season.
And the harem, though there is one, is not overtaking the story. And that's what I like. It adds comedic humor.
And the main character rejects it.
Yeah.
He's like, the harem, these girls are not viable love interests for me. They don't make sense.
Yeah.
It has amazing action, meticulous action, where the main character isn't overpowered in any way.
He's just good at strategy.
He's smart and he's cunning and he always thinks during his fights. This is my favorite of the season for a good reason. It's so good. So next, if her flag breaks,
don't watch it.
Spencer will say no because he doesn't like harem like I do. Honestly, how do I say this? As a harem, it has a very good premise for a harem. It starts off really funny, but it's on a decline. The jokes are good for the first, 5-ish episodes, but ever since last week, it's been kind of going downhill. And there's better harem out there. I would say skip it. There's a lot better harem out there. High School DxD is so much better. The World Golly Knows is probably the best harem out there, if you consider it a harem. A really good one to watch if you want harem, Oni Ai. It's short for Oni-chan Dakedo, yada yada yada, but just look up Oni Ai. Really good, really funny harem.
You know that you don't want to watch If Her Flag Breaks, or you're not recommending anybody does, when you recommend a different anime for them to watch.
Yeah, I'm just saying, there's a lot better harem out there.
So, No Game, No Life is a definite watch for sure. The action and the strategy in this series is really good. If you're not a fan of fan service like me, it's not that bad fan service, but it's
This
actually
fan
getting a
service is,
little
every episode.
It's
man.
getting a little overwhelming for me now. But I'm just so committed. I don't
This
know what
anime
I'm supposed to
is targeted to people like us, like young adults who love video games. It's just targeted to us, and therefore we kind of love it. There's so many references to games. If you even have like a vague understanding of video games, you'll understand them. It's funny. The main characters are fantastic. They have good chemistry together. The relationship between those two is great. The world is big. They have a purpose right from the get-go. And it's very clever in how it plays out. It's very hard to predict where the series goes.
The only issue I have with this series right now is that it might end too quickly.
Yeah. It might be a little... I think it's biting off a little bit more than it could chew. It's ending pretty quickly, and it still has so much that's set up for itself to do. This anime sorely needs a second season.
Yeah. So Nanana's Buried Treasure is a very good series I've found because, well, I do recommend it because it's a good watch, but just not as highly as the other ones. It's skippable if you have too much on your plate.
Nanana's, it's good. It's definitely good, but I don't know if I can recommend it. It definitely, this is a very cluttered season. Like you said, Nanana's very skippable. But it's honestly very solid anime. It just doesn't rise to the greatness of the others. I would say if you're not really into mystery kind of sort of anime, like detective stuff, I would skip it because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of mystery in this anime where for like the first 4 episodes, you don't know anything about the main character Jugo. So it's like that. Nothing is usually spelled out for you until like the very, very end. It's just kind of how it does that. I have a hard time recommending it to everybody. Like I can't give it a blanket yes, please watch this like I can to Chaika or No Game No Life. But I can say it's good if you want a mystery, if you want a really solid main character. It's an okay story, but we're having issues where it's not progressing enough for us right now. So if you're okay with that, you're okay with very slow story progression, but very, very heavy character development, I can recommend it to you. Otherwise, I can say you can skip over it.
So you can stop talking now. Kawaii Complex.
Don't recommend it. It's terrible. Don't watch it.
Is really good season. The art style is beautiful. The character reactions and interactions are awesome. Shiro is hilarious.
He is. I agree with
Usa
that.
has a lot of growth to do, which is an excellent thing for a main character.
Usa sucks
If
dick.
a main character understands that he needs to grow and change, especially because he did... The episode after you dropped it, he says, wow, I was really creepy. I should fix this. And he fixed it. And the interactions are funny. The art, like the world is beautiful. It's a really nice slice of life romance. And it's really nice. So if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and watch it. Captain Earth.
No, shut up.
Oh, man.
Hilarious side characters. Shiro especially, Mayumi, I don't remember the other girl's name. They're all really... Chaika. They're all really funny. Art style's really nice. This anime is absolutely gorgeous, honestly. It all hinges on whether or not you can get behind the love story between Usa and Ritsu.
Shipping it.
If you can't, like I cannot, because I don't like Usa, I do like Ritsu.
I honestly think you just haven't given it enough time, honestly.
5 episodes is more than enough.
No, it's not. It's not.
If you can't get behind the love story, this anime is not worth it.
You didn't even get halfway through.
The side characters are good, but there's so much attention to the love story where it can't carry the anime. You
do realize a relationship needs to be built longer than 4 episodes for it to make sense.
Of course, sure.
And if anybody judged Shimon's opinion, like personality based on the first 7 episodes of Gurren Lagann, you'd hate him.
I love Shimon in the first episode because he was amazing. He was a complete coward who got over his cowardice.
And this guy's a complete loser who's getting over his loserness. But you haven't got there yet.
I don't care. I don't give a shit, man.
Whatever. Captain Earth.
I only recommend it if you think you can get behind the
Which you can easily.
There are people like me, man, who won't be able to just because you can.
Probably a lot less than people like me. Because Kawaii Complex is really good.
I disagree. Okay, next one. Captain Earth.
Recommended.
Absolutely recommended. This anime has the best cinematography. It's technically, on a technical level, the best anime this season.
Yeah. Detail-wise, they take so much.
The world is so beautiful in this anime. The world is still beautiful, too.
And the world is confusing because until episode 7, we're slowly getting it revealed to us what the world is happening, like what in the world is happening in the world. We're slowly figuring it out. Characters are great. There's 4 main characters who interact really well together. There's not some nasty love triangle. It's really nice.
There's still a lot of mystery like in the other anime, but it's harder to click in this one with the mystery, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's just harder to figure out what's going on. But the nice thing about Captain Earth is it's so good that you don't notice that when you're watching it. It just, when it reveals something to you, you're like, oh, I never actually thought of that. Yeah. Just because it's always taking you for this beautiful ride. Absolutely recommend it. It's so good.
If you're a fan of mech battles that are all hand-drawn and transformation sequences,
oh man,
then you're
the gatai is real, man. Ride.
Okay, so
they sparingly use the mech too.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've seen it like 3 times in 7 episodes.
It's not like Gundam where it's just a mech, like the guy gets in his mech, fights off some people, and then the episode's over. It's used very sparingly. It's super realistic in terms of the world.
Yeah.
So good. Next.
Haikyuu. So we really don't have much to talk about Haikyuu. It's an excellent sports anime where the animation is really nice. We're having an issue because the pacing's a little off. It could go a little faster, but...
The thing with Haikyuu is it's so similar to the other sports anime, but not as good. So I'd like to recommend the other ones like Ace of Diamond and especially Kuroko no Basket. Those two are very similar, but a lot better. And so I don't really want to recommend it.
No, you hated Ace of Diamond up to episode 7.
Yeah, I know.
Then you started liking it.
Yeah, Ace of Diamond got rolling. I'm waiting for this one to get rolling as well. But it's because Ace of Diamond's already there. If you're really jonesing for a sports series, absolutely go for it. But if you haven't seen the others, go watch Kuroko, go watch Ace, go read Axial, don't watch it. It's bad. The anime's bad. The manga's great. It's not bad by any means, but there's just a lot better. When it establishes itself and maybe the season ends, I would say definitely go back and watch it.
It also depends if you like volleyball.
Well, I don't like volleyball at all, but I like the anime.
That's true.
I hate baseball, but Ace of Diamond's great. So next is Baby Steps. Okay, what I just said about sports anime does not apply to Baby Steps because Baby Steps is very unique in that it's not a team sport, it's solo, it's all about the main character, Achan, growing as a person and his weird-ass haircut.
Yeah, it's weird.
Makes no sense. But it's very, like I just said, it's very unique. And it's really, I don't know how to describe this. It's just, it takes its time to the point where, I said this before in the podcast, where nothing happens in Baby Steps. Nothing happens in Baby Steps. But it's gotten to the point where things are rolling really well.
So that there isn't a Nothing Happens episode.
Exactly. It's picking up momentum very nicely. At this point in the series, I would say absolutely catch up to it if you want a sports series. It's much more lightweight than the other sports series that have come out. It's very digestible. There's no superpowers like there are in Kuroko or in Eye Shield. I would recommend it if you're looking for a lightweight sports series.
This is your one next.
What is next?
Valkyrie in the Darkness.
Valkyrie the Darkness. I can't recommend the series. I just can't. The last episode, the one that just came out, has been very good, but even then, it's still not a great or even a good anime, really. Here's the thing. If you're okay with gore, go watch Elfen Lied. Elfen Lied is Valkyrie of the Darkness. What's with that look? Valkyrie of the Darkness is like Elfen Lied, but not nearly as good. Elfen Lied is so dark. It deals with so much just adult themes like child molestation and like horrible, horrible things. It's really good though. It's one hell of a ride that you absolutely would never forget. Valkyrie in the Darkness, it's trying to kind of get that Elfen Lied feel, but with a lot more comedy. And the comedy's okay. It has a running small boob joke, which is actually really funny. But overall, the comedy's not really great. The main character kind of sucks ass. So I can't really recommend it. I would say definitely go for Elfen Lied if you want an anime that's similar to this. That's all I really got to say.
Yeah.
You don't... Have you watched Elfen Lied?
Why in the world would I watch Elfen Lied?
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
Okay, so that's all I have to say.
What's next? Irregular at Magic High School?
Miss the World is Still Beautiful.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay. I want to recommend this, but I don't know if people like it.
Okay, so here's the deal. The World is Still Beautiful is a shoujo series. So
we are not the target audience for
typically
this.
It's based for women. It's about a girl trying to find her place in a kingdom with a tortured husband-to-be who she's got to fix. That screams women dreams, man. And
but it's good.
It's a sweet series.
It does this so well.
Honestly, though, there's nothing going on. Really?
Most of the content is character-driven. It's all about the small changes in the characters. Each episode's building very slowly. A lot of shoujo does this. And a lot of people aren't into that kind of thing. If you don't like that, if you don't like like really small progression each episode. If you don't like sugary sweet anime that's like supposed to make you feel good, and this is all about the relationship between these two. The side characters are basically nothing in this. If you don't like Nika and you don't like the Sun King, this anime will not, you will hate it. But I guess if you're a girl, maybe you'd like it.
Yeah.
Or if you're like us who we like romance.
Yeah, we do.
You and I both like romance, and this does romance quite well.
Yeah.
So if you like romance, male or female, then I would recommend the series. If that's not your cup of tea, I would skip over it. You're not missing anything.
Yeah. So next is the Irregular High School Magic of this, that, and
The Regular Magic High School. I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it either. You know what? Honestly, it's one of those animes that's so mediocre, so ungroundbreaking, that if you skipped it, it would land in like number 300 on a top 100 anime list. Like, it's just not...
It's not bad.
It's just not bad, but it's not
average.
Good.
It's so
average. Honestly, I really don't want to continue watching it because there's just other things I could do with my life.
I am enjoying it, but it's so skippable. It's
just don't... Like, if you have no time... and you're like, crap, I gotta watch before I die, obviously this isn't the one for you.
No.
But, so, meh. It's just, yeah, Akuma no Riddle.
Okay. Akuma no Riddle is an anime that started off amazing. First 3 episodes, so good. Following 2 or 3, awful. And then the latest couple of episodes have gone back to it being really good. The action in this series is, I don't want to call it low budget, but it kind of feels that way. But with the budget they have, it works pretty well. When they get really creative with the assassinations, this is all about a school of assassins and stuff. When they get creative with assassinations, it gets really good. When it gets bad in the middle, like I talked about, it's because the assassins themselves are just a bunch of anime tropes and cliches who are incredibly boring. And if you've watched anime before, you know where this is going. But again, like where it is now, it's gotten unique, it's gotten good, everything's coming to a climax. And honestly, it's gotten really good again. If the premise like excites you, or if it sounds interesting, like a classroom full of assassins who all have the same target, I would recommend it. I'll at least give it a shot. When it dips down to being boring and cliche, if that's like not enough, like if
how's the Yuri stuff in it?
Very low.
Okay.
It's very underplayed.
Okay.
It's good, man. It's getting much better than it was. And I really like it. I would recommend it if you're into the assassination kind of thing.
I'll handle the next 2. So, because you haven't really watched all of them yet. So, Ping Pong, the art style is absolutely beautiful because they're doing something that nobody does.
I don't want to call it beautiful.
It's not beautiful, but it's beautiful in a unique way.
I agree. It's very unique, and I like it a lot.
It does really good because obviously table tennis is table tennis. It's not that exciting. But because they have a bunch of over-exaggerated caricatures whenever they're playing, it's really nice.
They took an interesting step where instead of giving all the players superpowers, they make the world kind of, I don't know, distorted and artsy.
It's distorted, and the huge themes in this anime is the talented and the untalented, and how people react
like
to
Sakurazo.
that. Exactly. So I like it. Great series so far. If you can get over the ridiculous animation, and if you can get over the strange characters like Peko and Akuma and kind of get to the deeper meaning, there's a lot more to this anime that's a little psychological a little bit that I really like, and there's a lot of reveals that haven't been revealed yet. I would say pick it up, but honestly, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's exactly like Makaku, in that something just won't click with somebody and you won't watch it. And honestly, whatever.
I'm 3 episodes in and I still don't know if I want to drop it or continue. I'm going to continue it because I just don't know. I can't peg the series down yet. It's one that breaks a 3-episode rule.
If you don't end up watching it, I will understand way more than I understand why I don't understand why you're not watching Kawaii Complex. I will understand why you drop Ping Pong because that makes sense to me.
All right, Breakblade.
So Breakblade is excellent. Recommend. The fights.
You've hyped me up for this, man.
The fights between mechs are great. The world is great. The villains are great. Okay, the reasons behind the war make a lot of sense. The 4 main characters and their interactions together is really good. For those of you who like fan service, there's a couple times where you get that too. I can look
something
away.
For everybody?
It's great. You know, it's got something for everybody. They have some tropes in there, the military tropes and all that stuff. But there's death, people die, and there's a lot of heavy stuff in it. And you know what? Honestly, the way it's going, I'm really excited about where the series is going. For mech-wise, really good. Really good.
I can't say anything about it, but I love mech anime, and I'm excited to watch it.
It's really good. Okay.
So let's talk about the 2 series that we dropped mutually.
Okay.
Mikaku.
So, no, I don't recommend Makaku because A, the art style was infuriating. It made me sick. I didn't like it. The characters were bland and stupid, and the story was just uninspiring.
I'm with you.
And it just wasn't
I
good.
also don't recommend it. The songs that these episodes were based off are awful. There were 2 episodes that I legitimately enjoyed, and they featured Momo. You know what? I did like the poem of the sunfish.
The sunfish poem.
That was hilarious.
I'll take that away from it, yeah. But honestly, though, having to research...
A cast of 10 main characters where only 1 is good? No, I cannot recommend this anime. The art style, I don't like it. The colors are so metallic and so flat. The city always looks lifeless. It gets very schizophrenic. It tries to make it, I would say, artsy, and it just fails.
It's just not good.
It's not good. We don't recommend it.
And 1 Week Friends, honestly, it is a good series in that it has a good premise.
The premise is nice.
The characters aren't bad, but it's just not what we enjoy watching or wasting our time watching.
It suffers from a lack of depth and what we like to call darkness. It's all sugar sweet, which is all fine, but you need something more than that. And a series can't be just sugar.
The reason that we like Usagi Drop over this is because Usagi Drop had this like affair underlying tones where the grandpa had mystery.
This is what I want to say. Go watch Usagi Drop instead of this. It's so much better. It gives you the same heartwarming, sugary, sweet feeling, but it's so much more real.
And if you like the art style, try watching Kimi ni Boko or something from like yours. It's a bunch of boys in blue suits and Kimi ni Boku or something like that. Whatever. I don't know.
Oh, is that the one where it's all guys?
Yeah.
From Me to You is the English title.
From Me to You, thank you. Watch From Me to You. It's the exact same art style, super sugary sweet, and there's really nothing that happens. So if you like 1 Week Friends, you'll like that.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, we're kind of running out of time here. That's our recap.
One more thing I want to plug.
Okay.
People have been asking us for like anime recommendations. We're not going to do this on this podcast. We might do it later, like for unknown anime, I guess. I have linked our My Anime lists on our YouTube About page. So if you just look up us up on YouTube, you can either look up James and Brown Podcast or just JNB Podcast, which is our Twitter handle, and we'll show up either way. Just go to our About page. It has our anime lists. It has our Twitter and everything else, our email, in case you want to get in contact
My
with
Anime
us.
list, it does that?
No, on our YouTube About page. It has everything there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I'm updating mine. So are you. I mean, there's always stuff when you remember. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you'll find on my Anime list that I rank everything. And usually it's very high because if I finished it, it's usually good.
This is what I like to say. Okay, if it's under my completed, there's a very good chance it's good. If it's completed and not good, I'd give it a ranking.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's completed and great, I've given it a ranking. If it doesn't have a ranking, it's just good.
And don't hate me. I've handed out some 10s, okay? Just don't hate.
Sakurazo is the only one that comes to mind that gave it 10. Oh, and Fullmetal Alchemist.
But anyways, I honestly have 14 minutes to get to my wedding shower.
We got to run. Okay. One last thing. Our plans for June. We got big plans for June.
We do have big
of
plans
June.
for June.
So Spencer, you want to tell them what we're doing?
Yes, I am so excited. Every podcast in June, we will either in a separate podcast. I think it's in a separate podcast.
It'll probably be a separate podcast.
We'll do a double release.
Yeah.
We're going to be reviewing a Miyazaki film all month. So
June is going to be Studio Ghibli month.
Yeah, so we're going to pick 4. I guess it would be 4.
Yep.
4 movies to watch. Some of the big ones, some of the lesser known ones. And you know what? We might actually take a poll and ask what you guys want us to listen to, and we'll kind of weigh that one. We know for a fact we're reviewing Lapida.
Uh-huh.
We know for a fact that we're reviewing
Moving Castle.
That's
about it.
And the other 2 are up for grabs. I want to do Whisper of the Heart because it's a really simply sweet one.
Ones that we won't do are Mononoke and Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, because we've seen those. And we won't do Ariete because I don't want to do that one at all.
Also the Valley of the Wind.
And we won't do the dragon one. We won't do the dragon one.
The dragon, the one with the girl turns dragon.
We won't do Nausicaa. You know what? There's a fan base for Nausicaa, but it's just not what we want to do it right now. So, anyways.
So, please send any suggestions that you want for either the Crepe Corner or what Ghibli movies you want us to review. That's going to come up in 2 weeks at our Twitter at JNB Podcast or at our email, jamesandbrownpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you could comment on this YouTube video if you want to down in the comment section below.
Or if you're listening to it on Podomatic, you comment to that as well. So, Spencer, I am Raj of James and Brown.
And I'm Spencer of James and Brown.
Thanks for listening to this really long recap, guys. We gotta run. See you guys later.
Bye.